Listen, I've never had any problem expressing my opinions, but what we're doing here is bigger than that. These are conversations that need to be had in an unfiltered way. Drag racing's all I've ever done. It's all I care to do. I respect the history, I appreciate how far we've come, but I want more for this sport, and I'll fight for it. It's uncut, it's unfiltered, this is the show of shows. The biggest names in drag racing. No holds barred. This is the great American motorsport, drag racing. Prove me wrong, I'll wait. Hey gang, Wes Buck here, Drag Illustrated Magazine, checking in. It is Wednesday, August 19th, 2009. Hope you guys are doing well out there. Wild times continuing in the sport of drag racing. It seems like every time I open my eyes, every morning, there is some new headline, some new happening in the sport. We got a hell of a show for you guys today. At about 2:30, we're going to be joined by, I believe, Bill and Billy Hoskinson. Super excited about this. Old Man Garage Street Racing Channel in the house to talk about the war at 304 that went down this past weekend. Really cool no prep race. And I tell you what, man, it feels like the promotion game in drag racing is just wide open, right? Like there's so much movement in this space right now. Obviously, we've got these tried and true series. And of course, we spend lots of time talking about PDRA, NHRA, Midwest Drag Racing Series, etc. But it really does feel like we're seeing more and more and more of these independent and or one-off events pop up on the calendar and really surprise us, right? Like I think some of the coolest events that are on the calendar in drag racing today arguably are independent or one-off events. I mean, I immediately think of Corey Stamper and King of the South, Shakedown, what Keith Haney and, of course, Donald the Duck Long are doing up at US 131 in Michigan. Our World Series of Pro Mod becoming once again a standalone crown jewel event. Like it's a big challenge. It's a big bite to keep energy up, excitement up throughout the course of an entire season. And I think our whole world, in some ways, is kind of moving this direction where it's big festivals, 2-3 days, and all eyes on this deal. I think of like all these music festivals that take place, Lollapalooza, what's the rock and roll one that happens in the Midwest outside of Kansas City? There's also like the Electric Daisy deal out in Las Vegas. Like these are the things that it seems like maybe it's youth culture that just love a party. But I think that these big kind of tentpole events are the way of the future. I mean, I think about what happened a few short weeks ago down here in Texas at Abilene. West Texas Raceway in Abilene hosts this crazy 75,000 to win no prep race, and it has seemingly taken on a life of its own. I mean, it's a really, really, really interesting thing. Don't look past Texas 2K, what that event has become. Think about FL 2K, these standalone one-off events. I just really feel like that is the direction. We've been saying this for a long time. It's not anything necessarily new, but I feel like we've got some great shining examples of it right now. Oh, how could I not mention World Cup, import versus domestic, Jason Miller's creation, 30 years strong, standing tall as one of, if not the most significant independent drag races on the planet Earth. And it just feels like this is the way our sport is heading. Like you're always going to have these regions of racers, I think, that are going to chase points, that are going to compete in all the series, and they're going to tow either all over their neck of the woods, be it out on the East Coast or in the Midwest or the Northeast, or even out on the West Coast. But it really feels to me like the action, the intensity, and maybe it's just because everybody, I used to have a friend tell me that we all have like limited units. Does that make sense? Like we have, whether it's willpower, whether it's energy, whether it's what's, they're limited. That's a limited supply. And when you've got to spread them across your entire life, all these different things, it is nice to have like a couple of dates that you can circle on the calendar and really pour yourself into. And if you're operating on limited units, which I think we can recognize or agree that we all are, it's hard to pour yourself into every weekend or every other weekend. That's a big challenge. So anyways, I'm super excited to talk about, I mean, honestly, talk about this with Bill and Billy, but I think that the same thing could be said for these drag week events. Honestly, that was one of my big concerns as we saw drag and drive explode over the course of the last decade and become one of the hottest things, the hottest commodities in our sport. I have wondered, like, when will we reach market saturation? Like, when will we reach that point where it's almost like, all right, guys, this may be a classic less is more situation, because now that there are so many events, can they all be as successful as a handful? I mean, there was a point in time when it was just Hot Rod Drag Week. Then it became Hot Rod Drag Week and Sick Week, right? And now Sick Week's got multiple iterations. There's all sorts of regional drag and drive events. We've seen Rocky Mountain Race Week, all these different, and hey, it's a free market. Everybody is completely, and I know the nature, right? I've participated in this myself. We all get home from an event and immediately talk about what we would have done different or how we could do it better, right? And come on in. The water's warm. That's what I always say. However, there is a realization that has to be had that, like, there's only so many of these events that are going to reach that spectacle level. And I'm excited to have this conversation today on the show with everybody, not just our guests, Bill and Billy Hoskinson, Ned Dunphy, Tyler Crossnoe, but my own team here at Drag Illustrated. What's going on, JT? Mike, you guys doing well?
What's up?
Man.
I thought you were just going to go ahead and do the whole show by yourself. I was like, hell, I was starting to check email.
Well, I mean, hey, dude, sometimes I feel like I want to ramble.
Check your email.
I know. No, I do.
I want to ramble a little bit, I got stuff that I want to say, so anyways, but hey, Mike, we've talked about this before. I think you'll back, I mean, I see Drag Drive Repeat, a dear friend of ours here on the show. We're not close to oversaturation in drag and drive yet. The weekend game is the gateway drug that people aren't hitting yet. I do think there's probably some truth to that. It's a little bit of a different take on the same recipe, right? It's a shorter event. Hot Rod Drag Week, Sick Week, week-long events, huge investment of time, huge investment of money and resources and energy, like physical, mental, etc. So these weekend 3-day events, I do feel like there's a lot of opportunity there. And there are some that are popping off and doing really well. And I'm not saying we're like on the cusp of market saturation, but I do think that we saw like a fantastic example in 2026 with the International Hot Rod Association adding 10 pro mod races to the schedule. And then we saw participation wane kind of across the board. No one really had the inventory required to put on or to have what is today considered a big event. You know what I'm saying? Because the cars are spread across all these different pockets. Mike, like I said, we've talked about this before, but I feel like it's worth repeating this conversation because there is some, how often have we said to ourselves that we've got to exercise some level of restraint?
Yeah, I mean, not just in the time frame, but all the other aspects, car count, like measuring it by car count, like you talked about. What classes do you have? All those things. It's kind of interesting to say youth culture, because I feel like the real youth culture of today like doesn't leave the house. They don't. We talk about these people a lot. COVID, furthered this along. The internet. I think we're talking about a culture that's like right in the middle. Probably our age or younger. And then it's going to be something different for the really young crowd. But for right now, for the people that we are trying to get into this sport in particular, that bite-size event is the way to go. We're starting to see that more and more. You see other events kind of following this as well in the mainstream media and mainstream sports. So it's just where we are. I mean, I don't know about you guys, but it's like time moves faster and faster. We've got more and more to do. There's never enough time to get everything done. So like we always talk about, expecting everybody to embrace the 4-day event, that's a tough thing. Hey, but it's still there. And we're heading into the biggest, longest event of the year here in a couple of weeks. NHRA heads to Brainerd this weekend, and then a weekend off, and then heads to the granddaddy, the big go. How many different? I was gonna mash them all up, all the different names. But yeah, starts on Tuesday or Wednesday and ends on Monday, and we're gonna be there with bells on, man. How about that? Can we break any of the news that we've got for Indy? And we teased it a little bit last week. as far as what our involvement's going to be, but we've got a few more details.
Absolutely, man.
The
Wes Buck Show, broadcasting live from the sacred, hallowed grounds of Lucas Oil Raceway Park at Indianapolis during the NHRA U.S. Nationals. We will be live in the pits. Super excited about this. NHRA has really gone out of their way to welcome us in, to make this a cool thing. We're going to have a ton of great guests. We're going to have a live audience type setting so you can join us in the pits. It is our desire here to create something of a drag racing college game day type experience. We're going to bring out a bunch of celebrity drivers, a bunch of difference makers and movers and shakers in the space. We'll talk DI Power 100. We'll, of course, talk about the rich history of the NHRA, 75 years strong here in 2026. A lot of our longtime friends of the show intend to join us on stage. I'm excited about that. Of course, Mike and JT will be there. Nate and Craig, Jess Malante, a bunch of our members of the Drag Illustrated team, all on site, so we can really have a throwdown barn burner.
This is what I'm talking about right here, and this is what Wes and you and I discussed when we were kind of dreaming this up. The old NHRA race day, intro to the day's events, where they got the stage, looking over the crowd, setting up the day. It'll be tough to achieve what those guys did, because that was badass back in the day, but that's kind of the inspiration.
It's 100% the inspiration. And to be honest, I think that this all speaks to what we were just talking about, is just creating an event, right? Just doing, it's got to be more than the on-track thing. It has to be activations in the pits. It has to be activations in the local community. I saw some photos this morning that they got a couple of the JFR display funny cars in the airport there in Indianapolis. That's really what it takes to really get a city or a community to rally around something. You got to get them everywhere. And I think if we've got a bunch of fans on the property in between rounds, during a little bit of downtime, they can come hang out in the pits with us. We'll be there all afternoon on Friday. It would appear that we're going to broadcast live across the Drag Illustrated and NHRA social and YouTube channels. Super excited about that, from 2 to 5. So we're gonna put in the work.
Are they ready? Are they ready for that? Oh man, that's
3 hours.
They're sticking their neck out there. We're gonna might have to rein it in, JT. But I think you got something, JT. I think you got something planned. Yeah, JT, you got another special reveal.
Nope,
maybe
don't even know what you're talking about.
No? Okay, all
He's
right.
not doing it. He's not going to bite.
Oh, I am doing it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we'll probably have to get Aaron Stanfield up there, and I got a little present for him.
We're teasing it.
Yeah, we've got a big unveil that will be going on Friday at the U.S. Nationals. So super excited about that, man.
It'll be an instant Indy classic. It'll go right down in the Hall of Fame. The history books, when people talk about Indy and all the big things. It'll be right up there with Big Daddy shaving in the staging layer on the starting line.
We could just go all out. We could have Hagen come up and give me a handlebar mustache.
I tell you what, man,
I'm up by the end of the weekend.
100% here for it, man. I'm 100% here for it. I'm excited about it because for us, it's an opportunity to do what we always try to do, is throw a party. And more so than anything else, bring this community together, right? We'll have people up on stage that maybe oftentimes don't get to chat with one another, maybe don't run in different circles. I mean, we've seen that throughout the years with drag racing, is it's all the pro stock guys kind of stay to themselves and all the nitro guys kind of stay to themselves. And it's cool to bring those worlds together. I'm excited to get a couple of members of the NHRA brass on stage with us, which is very exciting because they got a lot to celebrate right now, man. I mean, I think about just 20 years that we've poured into Drag Illustrated here pales in comparison to the 75-year tradition that is the NHRA. And I think that we've been reminded in recent months how important what they do really is to our sport, and the tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of people around this country and around the world, for that matter, that care about the sport of drag racing. I mean, let's talk a little bit of breaking news. Obviously, Sunday, we published our report, a special report, an in-depth piece, not something that we often do. I mean, we kind of save these for really significant happenings in the sport, but a 5,000 word expose, a deep dive look at what has happened over the course of the last 18 or so months with the International Hot Rod Association, the pending lawsuits, the existing lawsuits, federal lawsuits, all these various things. really, really, really incredible reception, I think, from the masses. And I got to say, Mike, like, I think you'll agree with me. I was proud of the way it was presented. We worked hard to make sure that we weren't taking sides or piling on. We just felt strongly that the sport of drag racing, fans, racers, stakeholders of every shape and size, right, deserve to know, like, here is exactly what happened in chronological order. Here's where we're at today. You know, I still to this day see, you know, people making posts on social media, and obviously social is going to social, but it's like, you know, somebody had to, I don't know that we came close to clearing the air, but to really identifying what went down and what the situation is as of today. And I believe we did that. I mean, we're going on 60 days since the last IHRA national event. By our reporting and according to our sources, many of those that are mine, so I can speak with some level of authority, have still not been paid. But I actually had an interesting conversation that I think will be a part of our follow-up story, is that our story really focused on the racers, right? It focused on the contractors, the tracks that have been impacted by this whole situation. But I had a really interesting call yesterday, and I won't name names until it's time for the story to drop. But there will be a part 2 of that story coming likely sooner rather than later. But I talked to an industry member, a really key figure in our space, and talked about how the ramifications go far beyond the racer base, the fan base, the track owners. Like, there are manufacturers and part suppliers in this space and service providers in this space that are going to feel the ripple effect of that for years to come. I talked to some chassis builders that have had orders canceled, that are, you know, that's a significant spend at this point in time, right? To see, you know, to take a deposit and then have to return it because the guy's choice of racing endeavor has gone away is a really tough pill to swallow. I mean, those could be cars that already made it onto a jig. Those could be parts that have already been ordered. I mean, that's a really, really difficult situation, not to mention the volume of parts that all of a sudden overnight stopped being sold, because drag racing, a lot of these businesses really rely on the kind of consumable nature of some of these parts. And all of a sudden you go from people that are planning on racing 2-3 times a month to maybe once or maybe every other. It really changes a business's forecast for the rest of the year. So it's there's a lot of layers to this onion, but I was proud of the reporting. Great work by our whole team. I thought our oil painting / illustration was dead on. I was really happy with how that.
Mark Revelis wants to buy the original artwork.
Yeah, I'll see what I can do.
It's priceless. It's priceless, Mark. Actually, knowing Mark, it's
Smithsonian already wants it. So
we'll take one Bitcoin, Mark.
Bitcoin.
Transfer that
one Bitcoin
to, I'll give you my Coinbase wallet and you can transfer that, and then we'll make sure you get that taken care of.
And I will say, I see some comments here, and we love to hear from you guys in the chat, so please keep it coming. But I'm seeing a comment here from YouTube, and I got to be honest, like, my sources indicate that there is no money being spent anywhere. There's a lot of things that are quietly closing. There are some things that are actually quite loudly changing hands at this point in time. But I venture to say a lot of these various boat racing, tractor pulling things, if they don't just go away entirely, I'm hopeful that they will go back to their previous ownership or a different, you know, pocket of people that want to try to keep on keeping on. Right. And
we've seen some of that.
Yeah,
we've seen outside of drag racing. I've seen some posts, some social media posts, and some of these people that owned or were involved in these other sanctions outside of drag racing are buying them back. There's been
I know next to nothing about offshore boat racing at all, but I did read a headline just the other day that Desert Storm, I believe it's the big boat race that happens in Lake Havasu, perhaps that it has been purchased, I believe, by the previous ownership or taken over. So,
and some of that stuff, the money hadn't completely changed hands yet. You know, like
that's the other thing too.
Like lease to own or whatever.
Yeah,
type of plan. You know, so I would hope that those would go back to the previous owner.
Wes, what do you say to this? What do you say to this? Because I saw a couple of comments about this, and I didn't really know the best way to address it. I saw a lot of comments, and we've heard this even before we dropped this. Why didn't we talk about this sooner? If we knew this, or we had this information, or all these, or we knew it was going to turn out this way, or however you want it, people are phrasing it. I mean,
we told a lot of people
publishing it now
mean, we told a lot of people, but
is not easy and is risky and is a tough thing to do, even though we've got a lot of facts that have built up. And I see a lot of people saying, you know, if you were this close to it and knew all this and saw all these things and saw this happening and knew the math wasn't going to work from day one, blah, blah, blah. Why didn't we say something?
But we said that though. And
I'm not
and it's hard. I know. And it's hard to convince somebody that's drinking the Kool-Aid. You know what I mean?
I know. There's a lot of ways to answer it. I just wondered how you would diplomatically respond to someone saying that.
Well, I think I would diplomatically respond to it by being honest and say that, you know what, I heard loud and clear. I do think that there's probably some things that could have been said in a more public matter. But you also have to kind of know the time, right? And it's like discussing politics. You're not going to
at the dinner table.
Yes, you're not going to convince someone, right? And that's what I kind of found myself. You know, the situation
that's a great way to put it, because it's like they always say don't discuss politics at the dinner table or with your family, because all you're going to do is create a fight with the people you love. Yep. And you don't want to do that.
That's honestly exactly how I felt about
it. How we felt about it.
I felt like there were a lot of people on both sides of the whole situation with the IHRA that were kind of digging their heels in. Mm-hmm. And I understood it, right? Because as a racer myself, someone who spent my entire life at the drag strip, this isn't something I take lightly. I've said this before, and I will say it again, that, you know, my own family would have been first in the line for big purses and low entry fees, right? Mike, I think I can speak this, you know, for your family as well. Like we know this near and dear to our hearts. So I was having a hard time, you know, pouring cold water on this community of people that were so excited. Now, there were those of them that I was especially close to, or I had, you know, really like seriously close relationships with, that I would have private conversations, and I would tell them that, you know, the math doesn't math. And I'm not saying like, God bless this guy for spending money. God bless this guy for all the money he has. That's fantastic, right? It's wonderful. But no one earns or achieves that level of wealth by being so reckless with it. And it didn't take but about 5 minutes or less with a calculator. Matter of fact, in this day and age of artificial intelligence, you could have clicked one of those flyers that were posted on social media damn near every other day, drug it into your favorite AI software like ChatGPT or what have you, and it would have done the math for you, and you could have immediately identified that there weren't enough seats at enough drag strips, probably in the United States of America, to offset just the purse of these events. And again, there were some people that I had that conversation with. To JT's point, I do think it's something that we touched on this show. Did we publish a 5,000 word expose? No, because
we talked about it timing in our circle.
In our circle, it was discussed regularly, but I honestly felt like it wasn't the time or the place. There was a lot of people excited, and all we would have done is been identified as haters, identified as naysayers. We would have been.
We already got a lot of that.
Yeah,
just from a small amount of stuff that we put out in before this. And so then when the facts become available, then it became time to do what we're supposed to do and report on it. So I think, I mean, we all know how we would respond to it, but I wanted to hear your official response.
Yeah, and that's, I mean, I own it. I mean, I honestly think that a case could be made if we were a larger, this is probably in many ways the problem with niche media is that Drag Illustrated isn't supported by Budweiser. It's not supported by Bic razors. We don't do business with consumer brands. We do business with people that operate in this space. Our advertisers and our marketing partners are comprised of people that operate in this space in hardcore drag racing on a daily basis, are at tracks every weekend supporting this sport. And so we have to be really mindful, because it's also recognizing the power that we wield, right? Like a story like that, bringing to light, you know, because we had to, I mean, I'm hopelessly optimistic, right? I mean, you guys have known me long enough to know that even when it's looking real bad, I'm trying to find the silver lining, or I'm trying to spin it positive. And that's what I was even trying to do with this, you know, with the IHRA situation. As much as there were personal things, I mean, there were lies told, contracts broke, people poached, all these various things. There were some really, really, really nasty tactics that were used, but I still tried to take the high road, and I still tried to support as best we could. We had reporters at races. We had photographers at races. We produced multiple Drag Illustrated event hubs for IHRA events. We did what we needed to do for the sport of drag racing, because I've always said I can care less about the the leadership. I don't care who's the president. I don't care who's the investor. I care about the racers. And no racer, Scott Palmer, Jacob McNeil, I'm trying to think of some of these guys that won IHRA races, Paul Lee, Trip Tatum, Jason Harris, the list goes on. Those guys do not deserve, in my opinion, to not get to see their name in lights, to not be celebrated by the largest platform that exists in drag racing today, just because they choose to race under the IHRA banner. So we knowingly separated the two situations, and we did what we felt we needed to do. And when we felt there was realization across the industry and people were starting to open their eyes to what was actually happening, and that this may not be the knight in shining armor coming over the hill the way we thought it was, it felt like the time was right. And there was also a lot of disinformation and a lot of fake news, a lot of clickbaity stuff. I did see, I want to address a couple of these items in the chat here. Long term, there's a question that says, do you see Musk taking ownership of tracks that were purchased through lawsuits and reviving Cuddle's dreams and keeping IHRA alive? And I will answer that for you unequivocally. No. Elon Musk is trying to go to Mars, friends. Right. Yeah. I asked Daryl to his face, has Elon Musk ever said the words drag racing? I asked him that. I said, like, if you're close with this guy, has he ever said the words drag racing? He's like, well, not that I know of. So, I mean, it's like, no, drag racing is so far from anything. Elon Musk cares about online video games 150,000 times more than he cares about the sport of drag racing. And that's not a knock, right? Go Elon. I'm actually team Elon in this whole deal. I'm 1,000,000% team Elon because I'm a tech guy, and I believe in space travel, and I believe in reusable rockets. I'm not a big electric car guy, but I do like flamethrowers. I do like his no bullshit attitude. So I'm pretty well solidly in the Elon camp on this whole deal. And I also don't like crooks. You know what I mean? So if that is the case, and obviously that's an allegation, I'm not here to state on the record or as fact, but what is being presented allegedly doesn't look good. And so
it all lines up.
It does. Yeah. So I mean, it's so that's just my kind of personal opinion on it. I do not think any of these tracks are in immediate danger of becoming data centers. I think that is a fashionable thing to say right now because it's controversial and it's going to drive engagement on social media. It's going to get a lot of clicks. It's going to get a lot of frowny faces, and it's going to get a lot of scathing comments, which is exactly what these social media algorithms want. So I understand why it kind of gets propagated throughout our space, but I will tell you guys that in my humble opinion, which it's my 2 cents, take it or leave it, but I do not feel like any of these tracks are in immediate jeopardy of becoming data centers. I will tell you that they are in immediate jeopardy. They are in immediate jeopardy, but I do not feel like it would make a lot more sense for me if they were to become Amazon fulfillment centers, or if they were to become salvage yards, scrap yards. Those are
neighborhoods.
Neighborhoods. That seems a lot more realistic to me. But I will tell you right now, as we saw earlier this week, Maple Grove put out an announcement that they were ceasing operations for a strategic refocusing and reorganization. And while I have made multiple efforts to get an on-the-record quote from the Koretsky family, it is my inside knowledge that the Koretsky family has control of the facility again. They have taken it back from the IHRA /Durana /Daryl Cuddle. They have reclaimed ownership, and I have heard nothing that leads me to believe that they do not intend on kicking those gates open and welcoming racers and fans back, probably sooner than later. Obviously, as we've all seen, almost all of these racetracks have been painted lime green. There's IHRA decals on everything that has a flat surface. So I think there's a lot of work that has to be done to kind of rid a facility of that branding and that moment in time. And I believe that's what's happening at Maple Grove Raceway. And as soon as I am able to confirm all those details, I will share it with the world via Drag Illustrated, I can assure you. But I did talk to Kenny Koretsky himself, Captain Chaos, who is recovering from some sickness he's been contending with. Our heart goes out to Captain Chaos, wonderful guy that I've had a ton of fun with. We should do some Captain Chaos stories on the show sometimes. But anyways, Captain Chaos told me that progress was being made, and that to me was what I needed to hear. So I do think we have inside information on at least one other facility. I know Jason Harris was on property last week at Piedmont Dragway, Pro Mod superstar himself. Face of pro mod drag racing in many regards right now. Party time, Jason Harris. He was on the grounds with potential investors as recently as last week at Piedmont Dragway. So I'm hopeful that these facilities will return to the hands.
Did you see Bob? Bob kind of addressed, like, they had some contractors out there, concrete companies, and he made a post or something, or it was a comment on a post about what it would take to bring back Piedmont, and it was astronomical. I mean, like, holy shit.
That's the biggest issue. And I'll say right here, by way of Jason Harris, he had put a group together that had some money, and I reached out to Daryl on his behalf and said, hey, I have a group that is prepared to make an offer on Piedmont. An offer was made. Daryl replied that he needed double that. And I just laughed at him, to be honest, because it just, to me, I feel like, okay, dude, the world is burning around you. I'm here with cash in hand, essentially. Wire the money, make this happen. And
you lit it on fire already.
So you've already
burnt down.
You know
what I mean?
That's kind of like pissing on a forest fire at this point. I mean, I think that's probably got to be his mentality at, just looking at everything, that even the hassle of selling it back or whatever is not worth it. So it's probably all just going to be tied up in this litigation for the foreseeable future.
Probably the worst case scenario, in my opinion. I'm hopeful that the tracks that were on lease to own deals quickly, like Maple Grove, I know was Virginia Motorsports Park, I know is. I'm hopeful those tracks go back to their, what I believe to be rightful owner sooner rather than later, because as you know, Mother Nature reclaims what is hers rather quickly. It is almost unbelievable. I remember seeing what happened to St. Louis to Gateway International Raceway. The few short years it was shut down and shuttered, I could not believe how quickly it had been overgrown and destroyed, and the amount of money, the capital investment that was going to be required to bring that place back was just shocking. So again, the longer these tracks sit unused, unmaintained, the worse the problem gets. And that's, I think, the point you were making, JT, with Bob Harris, is
Bob's here in the comments.
Bob's here in the comments. Yeah, that's great news, and we appreciate it. That's from the horse's mouth, ladies and gentlemen. And for those that don't know, Bob Harris is an incredible ambassador for the sport of drag racing. He's someone I consider a friend. Bob has done a lot for this sport. For those that don't know, he was there in the early days of the PDRA. The PDRA, as we know today, was originally led by Bob Harris. Before that, Bob Harris was the face of Piedmont Dragway, poured countless hours, his heart and soul into that.
He said he's done it 3 times, I think.
And I think so. And I think Bob has always tried, and I don't mean to put words in his mouth, but he's always tried to hand it off to the people that he thought could maybe go a little further than he could, right? Or do some of the things that he couldn't afford to do, or he wasn't able to do. And to see Bob, what would be potentially a 4th time, try to be putting together a group to save his local racetrack, to me, that's really a story in and of itself. And it's why I wanted to make sure that it was mentioned in our IHRA expose, because it's like, what is going to be the emotional anchor of this story? When I was writing it, I'm going, okay, there's got to be something here that ties this together and gets in your heartstrings a little bit, makes you think about this. And Jason Harris talking about his dad walking around Piedmont Dragway in ruins here in 2026, a track that's been open consistently since 1957. That was, to me, that was probably the toughest pill to swallow in the whole thing. So,
and a guy that really, he didn't lose anything, but had the most opportunity and all taken away from him as well. And so, you think about guys like that, and then on the opposite end of the spectrum, and something I was really adamant that we included in our story was these contractors, safety people, track workers, the thankless jobs that go on every weekend at every track, regardless if it's an IHRA owned facility or not, that these people don't get enough credit and aren't paid enough regardless. And then for them to go work and make a commitment, spend their time away from their family or their weekends and do, really tough work and then have their pay withheld. That's what really gets me more.
That's
really
a piece
more
of
than
shit thing
anything.
to do.
Yeah.
I'll just put that there. It's just, it is. It's a
It
shitty
is,
thing
man.
to do.
It is. Well, hey guys, we got to keep moving. Let me take a quick second and remind you that each and every episode of the Wes Buck Show is made possible by way of our friends at Jerry Bickle Race Cars, the foundation of fast. For decades, JBRC has set the standard in Pro Mod chassis. Now, with Rick Horde and team at the helm, carrying that tradition forward, they're not just preserving a legacy, they're building on it every day. From rolling chassis to race-ready components, if you're serious about going fast, your journey starts at Jerry Bickle Race Cars. Engineering first, proven on the track, built to win. Learn more at jerrybickle.com. That's jerrybickle.com. Ladies and gentlemen, our first guest of the day, super excited to see them. It looks like we maybe have one checking in from the road, perhaps, and one checking in from the shop, the old man's garage, of course. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for the father-son duo that is Bill and Billy Hoskinson. What's up, guys?
How's it going?
Hey,
Man, we are doing really well. I got to start this.
I can't hear
Oh, shoot.
Wesley.
You can't hear. Hey, somebody fix Bill Hoskinson. JT, can you handle this? And I'll take care of Billy momentarily.
Now I can't hear anybody.
Okay, here we're going to fix that. We're having some issues with our third guest audio, Billy. Anyways, welcome to the show, Billy. I just want to tell you congratulations, man.
Thank you, man.
Forgive my ignorance, but was this your first ever go around with throwing your own show?
No,
Okay.
I used to do it a lot back when I was first getting started. We started like 2019. I think I did my first event, and it was just a local deal that we did because I got caught street racing. And long story short, part of the deal was I had to start a track event in order to get my ticket and my get everything expunged. So
I actually, your dad told me this story. So
yeah,
I've heard this story. Bill, do you have us now?
Yeah, I got you now.
Okay, great. I was just telling Billy congratulations and asking if this was the first time Billy had thrown his hat into the ring as an event promoter. And he quickly reminded me of a story you told me once before of him having to do this by the order of the judge.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, yes, I forgot about that. Forgive me. Well, I mean, hey, again, congratulations. I saw the crowd.
thank you.
I saw the level of competition. I saw the dirt bikes doing backflips. We were talking at the beginning of the show, and I'd love for you both to riff on this a little bit if you would, but it feels like we're kind of seeing an era of these independent events, right? I think of War in the Woods. I think of Texas 2K, even our own World Series of Pro Mod. The event that happened a few weeks ago at Abilene, West Texas Abilene Raceway. Like it feels like that's kind of where the action is happening. It's like, God bless these touring series. They're great.
Yeah.
God bless, but that's a big ask to maintain people's attention and an enthusiasm over the course of a calendar
Get
year.
people to travel like that on a
Exactly.
series.
So we feel that we're kind of in this age of whether they're influencer promoted, whether they're, media, company promoted like ours, or just independent promoters like Peter Block at Texas 2K. We kind of feel like this is where the action is. So like, what was the catalyst for this go around with War at 304?
So no prep, small tire no prep in specific has been in a weird spot for the last couple years, at least in our area. Its glory days were like 2019, like right before COVID hit. 2020 was okay, but after that, really after COVID, everything kind of changed and everything got a little weird, and it's kind of been going downhill ever since with car counts and payouts, and just attendance, spectator attendance locally has been down, especially this last year or two. And I wanted to step in and do something about it because I could see that something needed to happen. People weren't looking forward to going to race anymore, and a lot of people were selling their cars. A lot of the people that I raced with back in 2019, 18, and 2020, they're not racing anymore. They put their cars up, or it's either like step up or step out, Not a lot of people can afford to compete anymore, and it's sad. So I put it upon myself to try to do at least one event this year. And I wanted it. My whole goal was to make it feel like everybody, was going to have fun again at the track. Like going to the racetrack and racing. I just wanted it to feel fun. and it hasn't felt that way in a long time. But I think we accomplished that this weekend.
Bill, that is something that is like marching orders around here at Drag Illustrated. Every time we've had an event, our pass fail is, did people have fun?
Yes.
Right? Like, because you can control very little at these racetracks, right? You're an oil down away or a rain shower away, as I saw you contending with, all the way leading up to this. I was watching one of your lives, as you were contending with, making the decision to forge forward or not. So there's so little that we can control. But one thing that we can do our level best to control is make sure that people have a damn good time. They have fun. Yeah. They want to come back. They can't wait to do it again. And it's music to my ears. Bill, like, you've been doing this a long time. We've seen that. I know I've seen it, where the fun dissipates. Like, drag racing is it's a tough road to hoe. No matter what it can be, no matter what you're doing, right? It doesn't matter if you're a junior dragster kid or a Top Fuel kid. This sport will break your heart. It'll break the bank account. It will. It's hard on you. So if you can't have a little bit of fun, right?
Oh man, we had such a good time. So many people I've seen so many posts of people that they had fun. Like, even people that I haven't seen at the track in a while came out. I saw so many people that I hadn't seen in forever. And a lot of people, I think, are going to start digging their cars back out now, it seems like, just because of this whole deal. It's awesome.
I think that a key, and we didn't create this. I think Billy doing this the way he did it is going to help make it a little bit more mainstream. But the tournament style thing, I think, is a huge attraction to a lot of the guys who have been forced out financially, that can no longer really compete. The problem is you got True Street and you've got Daily Driver and you've got these other classes. The problem is, this is just my opinion, this is totally my opinion, that the tube chassis thing had been let go for so long that there are a lot of cars that really fought the good fight for a long, long time, like Billy's S10 and the Falcon, and CJ Buckner is another one. These cars fought the good fight for so long, and they were hacking these cars up and making them lighter and doing all these things, taking the stock dashes out of them, moving the firewalls back. There's a lot of that has happened, and now these cars, they can't fit into True Street. They can't fit into these other classes because now they're too far gone. They fought too long against the chassis stuff. And now what do? Where do they go? So you do this tournament thing, right? Now all of a sudden, well, you get 2 wins, you're in heavyweight. You get 1 win and 1 loss, you're in midweight. If you get 2 losses, you're in featherweight or whatever, lightweight or whatever it is. And so bare minimum, they're going to get 3 hits. You know what I mean? They're going to get their time in front of the cameras. They're going to get their time in front of the crowd. They're going to get their time under the lights. And let's be honest, Wes, I mean, that's what everybody really wants. That's what makes it fun.
2 things. Yeah. I did not know about this tournament style format, so I am excited to talk about this. But I think you hit on something there that is near and dear our hearts here. And this is something that I like. My own is as badass as it is to run off the trailer. And I know everybody loves to do, like, it sounds cool. It's high intensity. It's sudden death. You either win this round or you load your stuff up and go home. But the reality is, some of these people towed across the country. They brought all their friends and family, and they're staring down the barrel of doing one burnout and going home. And that is, I mean, we've got to be mindful of not becoming truck and tractor pulling, where you get one hook a weekend, it's like, I think that we've got to make sure. I think that is brilliant, like wise beyond your years, Billy, because recognizing the investment that these people are making to simply be there, man, let them make some passes. Let them get to show their friends and family a good time. What if they go out there in round 1 and it knocks the tires off and they brought 50 of their friends or whatever, and they've got to go back and look, be humiliated. Now they're going to at least get a couple more shots. Where did that come from, Billy? And before you tell me where you cooked it up, or maybe as you tell me, explain the nuances that your dad was telling us there about.
Yeah, so I got this from a guy named Ryan Mitchell. He is a local promoter, in West Virginia. It's not the Ryan from Missouri.
Yep.
But anyways, he created this style of tournament, and a lot of people for a long time, I don't think quite understood what it was or how it worked, but it's really great because the people that win twice end up in heavy, and they don't have to race anybody else anymore. They don't have to put any extra hits on their cars. They're still racing for 70% of the purse. And then middleweight, 1-1, like that's usually the bigger class, how it shakes out. And then lightweight, those guys, if they've lost twice, they get to make at least one more pass, and then they have another shot at money too. The way it shook out this weekend, we had 50 cars in the tournament, and there was, I believe, 14 in heavyweight when it shook out, and then there was like 20 some in middleweight, and then the rest were in lightweight. But even middleweight paid like $5,000, and then lightweight paid like 1,500. So like you can't argue with losing twice and then getting 1,500 at the end of the night.
Right.
No, I mean, I think
And
it's
getting to
spectacular.
post some passes and get some laps on the car, and you get to dial your shit in. Like a lot of these guys, when you're going to a small tire no prep race, it's hard to test for that unless you go to a small tire no prep. Like, so to make 2 or 3 licks on the surface is huge for those guys in the next race.
Not only that, but they get to make it. If you go out there and it's off the ramps, you get to make that one lick. Well, if that one lick is in the heat of the day, you never get any data after the sun goes down at 9 o'clock at night when the rest of these guys are still racing. But this way, they get 3 licks at this place at all hours of the day and night. That is tremendous. That is a tremendous,
it's tremendous
advantage
for people's programs.
Yes. Yes.
It's incredible. I mean, I love this concept. What was 304 Motorsports Park? You guys may or not know this, but Justin Kirk, that his family resurrected 304 Motorsports Park in Virginia, actually drove for my dad. He drove my dad's Mountain Motor Pro Stock car, earned my dad his first and only Mountain Motor Pro Stock win in PDRA competition in Bowling Green, Kentucky. So Justin Kirk is held in high regard around the Buck family household.
The Kirks are so cool, man. They're racers
people.
just like us. You know what I mean? I've never met any track owners that I could relate to as much as them. And that's part of why I held this event there.
No, great people that are really trying hard to do something special. And I'm a big believer in Justin's, and I've known the kid forever. And like I said, it was awesome to see him drive for my dad. And then, now he's taken the reins of this racetrack, and it's interesting. You can find a lot of different ways to find yourself in the sport of drag racing, right? You don't just have to be behind the wheel of a track. Now they're making a difference by operating a facility. So, I think your dad told me, are you headed to Michigan, or where are you headed, Billy? You're already on the road.
I'm in Michigan right now. I'm in somebody's yard. I don't know. These people live right next to the track, right? And we broke the T5 in the Mustang, and they came up on a 4-wheeler afterwards, like 5 minutes after we broke it. And they're like, we've got a T5 and a lift right next door. And we're like, no shit. So we're here. They're getting the Mustang back together. And I ran to the parts store. I just got back from the parts store.
Oh my!
Have you ever been to Northern Michigan Dragway?
No, sir.
Well, it's like a campground, but there's a drag strip just happened, And it's on a dirt road. It's on a dirt road. It kind of reminds me of War in the Woods a little bit, but maybe just a little bit bigger and a little bit nicer. They do some big buck bracket races here. I think it's a big bracket track, but it's really cool. Guardrail track, old school.
So you're Stick Michigan Miles, right?
Yeah.
So is this a full week-long drag and drive?
Yeah. So it started Monday with day 0. It was like tech day. Yesterday was the first race day. We raced at Mid Michigan, which is another track I've never been to before. It was really nice. And then we're here in Northern Michigan Dragway now. It's like on the northwestern side of Michigan, like kind of right next to the lake. It's beautiful up here.
Absolutely gorgeous, right? I mean, so how long of how far are these tracks apart from one another? Like, what will be your total mileage, like, pending the new T5 all goes well?
So we have to drive clear to the northern tip of Michigan tonight and go across some bridge for a checkpoint. and then we go back. Tomorrow's a drive day only, and then I think they go to Lapeer or Ubly next. I'm not sure. I'd have to look. I'm taking it day by day.
Yeah, I can tell. I love it. So what happened? Did you guys get a time slip today or not?
Yeah. So me and Tess have been racing each other and trying to go see who's fastest in this car. And she clicked off a 720 today, shifting like a grandma. And I clicked off I was faster to the 330, but then I broke third gear. So it was on like a 7.0, 690. And this is the stock 302 T5, like very bare bones build, you know, just putting some nitrous to it and having fun. But our goal is just to go 690s by the end of the weekend. We'll see.
That's awesome, dude. What a reminder of, like, obviously it's probably, I'm hoping you're having fun, but it can be
absolutely.
a backbreaker. But like, dude, the fact that you can go out and do that, like with a car that is not like a super exotic build, right? Not a, a $250,000 race car, go have that kind of fun with your friends. Like, that's absolutely badass, man.
That's
so
the good stuff.
We've had more fun doing this than anything else. It's so fun. Like, I made my first hit today. I went a 723, and then Tess beat me with a 720 because she launched the car a little bit harder, even though her shifts were worse. And then I went to go beat her time, and I broke the transmission. But I was on the way to beat her time. It's just
because you're power shifting that thing. You're trying to break it. I know what's happening.
Oh yeah,
I know what's happening.
I was trying. She got me by 300ths, and I was trying to get her by another 10th, and I was headed for it, but third left the chat.
We had lunch today at Roosters, and me and Jay literally said they're going to break that 5-speed. It's going to happen.
Yeah,
it's going to
happen. Old man called it. So you found a T5, and you've already got that thing slammed in it, and you guys will be on the road shortly.
Yeah, they're working on it now. Tony is in there brake cleaning the thing. Looks like it's been sitting for a while, but we're gonna slam it. I think it's a 4-cylinder T5, but it'll be all right.
Oh my god!
The pilot bushing's a little bit different, I think, but I think we're just gonna throw some extra grease in it. It'll be okay.
It'll be fine. Yeah, Dad looks thrilled. Yeah, Dad looks thrilled. But now it'll be fine, man. Well, hey, Billy, thank you so much, man. We surely appreciate it. I'll let you get back after it. Stay out of trouble. What do you? So, is this an annual happening? Are we making it official?
Absolutely.
304. Okay.
Yeah, this will be an annual event. A lot of people were asking because it was so much fun and we had such a great time. I can't thank everybody enough for coming out. It was the best event of the year that I've been to, literally, other than maybe War in the Woods, but like War in the Woods is hard to beat.
It's hard to top
for
that.
Me.
I'm so proud of you, buddy, because
we had so much rain and
we had so
much adversity too, and it still was good. I guess everybody still had a good time, and I'm just sweating it because we got rain and lightning, and then after we get the track dry, there's fog that rolls in because you're literally up in the mountains and like the clouds are just rolling in. You're in the clouds. So we had to wait for the dew to set below to keep racing.
I don't think there are many people that could have packed that place the way you did with the forecast that we had. They were calling for rain all week, every day. Check, it's just rain.
We were on our second reschedule though. Like there's nothing.
Yeah.
You reschedule a second time and the juice is gone, man. You might as well do it next year. So it was just do or die.
I saw it on your face when you did that live and you were like this far from your phone camera or whatever.
Yeah.
And I could just see it in your eyes. I'm like, oh man, this kid's hurting like this. Cause it's, unless you've been there and you've like, it's hard to really accurately describe that feeling of despair because there's nothing you can do. Like you are along for the ride and no amount of prior planning, nothing you can do. All you can really do is cross your fingers, pray, and hope for the best. And I'm glad it worked out.
Like I've already paid for the dirt bike guys to come. I've already paid for BJ's, stuff, or I've already paid for the trap. Like John Sears has already went. He already made it to the track the first time to do tech, and then I had to cancel. So if I have to do that to him again, like there's no way. It's got to go. Right. So we did what we had to do.
I mean, we got some guys in the chat right here saying that they came from Canada and it was well worth it. And it's that's the feedback you want, man. I super happy for you, Billy. Go work on the old Mustang. Tell Tess hi, and we'll talk to you soon, brother. Be safe. All right, Bill, hang out for a second.
Thank you.
See you, buddy. Love you.
Bye.
Love you, Billy. Oh, you quite the dad.
I gotta
Bill,
come back out. I got to go out and come back.
Oh, we lost him. All right, bring him back because we'll shoot the breeze with him. I'll pay some bills real quick. Ladies and gentlemen, I do want to remind you that each and every episode of the Wes Buck Show is made possible by way of our friends at Stroud Safety. 100% made in America, 100% built for racers. From drag chutes and seatbelts to fire suits and ballistic blankets, Stroud Safety has been the standard in racing safety equipment for decades. Tommy Cunningham and his team don't cut corners. They build gear that saves lives. If you're serious about safety, there's one call to make. Check them out at stroudsafety.com and make sure you tell them Wes sent you. JT, I do believe we got Bill in the green room. All right, we got you back. We're going to have to figure out this audio deal at some point, JT. We're going to have to send some tech alerts or something because it's a consistent issue at this point. Bill, I just wanted to, 5 minutes will keep you. Appreciate you taking the time. There's a lot we could discuss. But I guess the first order of business is just, would you riff on this event momentarily? Obviously, Billy fought an uphill battle. I know you were pouring the coals to this deal. I saw you putting a lot of juice behind it. What's your just overall kind of reaction to the war at 304?
We always try to leave a new track or a new place or whatever, wherever we go and we try and do something, we always try and leave it in a position to where it's in a better position in the universe of drag racing after we leave it. So, even if we never go back to 304, which we are, but even if we never did, those live feed streams and those photos and the video clips of the beautiful scenery and all the action, that's forever. That'll always be there for whoever to use to try and bring, some juice back to that place. We got to meet a new track owner, wonderful people. The staff there were wonderful. I had no idea that you knew the Kirks, but I honestly, I never got time to even hang out and talk to them. They were so busy, dude. They worked their tails off, drying that place and trying to keep it straightened up, but
they ain't afraid to work.
People.
They are not afraid to work.
There ain't no quit in them people. There ain't no quit in them people. Congratulations to Billy, because I don't know that there's a whole lot of people who could have drug that many people to the top of a mountain in West Virginia in that kind of forecast, with that kind of forecast, and pack that place the way he did. He did a fantastic job, and I'm really proud of him. We had a wonderful time. We almost swept that deal. Tommy won midweight. Yeah, and Billy won heavyweight, and I won the 650 index class. So, and you honestly, Wes, you know this as well as I do. You don't know how many of those you got left in you. You don't know how many of those nights you're going to have. That might be the last one for me. So I was just so excited. I was so happy for the kids, and Tommy's doing an excellent job driving that little S10 pickup. Oh my God, that thing's going to be. It's a hammer. It's really good truck.
No, you guys, you're so right. And that's something that we try to remind like ourselves and everybody here, that like whenever somebody wins, like our next guest today, it's like, we've got to treat, like when this happens, you've got to treat it like a big deal, right? Because it is, and it may drag racing's hard. You never know if you're going to get another one. Right. I mean, it's not promised. And so I'm glad to see it. And I just thought, and you hit on something there that I think is interesting. I say this all the time to like up and coming promoters or people that are trying to put on events, is it's like, all you got to do is pack that place once. Because if you've got one photo, right, or one video clip of people swinging from the rafters and everywhere you look, there's humanity, that will do so much of the work for you. Like Donald Long, I use Lights Out 7 is one of my favorite examples. When photos started circulating of Lights Out 7 back in the day at South Georgia Motorsports Park, of the traffic backed up, the grandstands full of people, the pits full of people, I don't know that he would have ever needed to spend another dollar on advertising. Right. It was done. Yep. The FOMO that, like it was written at that point. It created this FOMO. Not only were all the people there having the time of their lives, but you had all these people that had either opted not to come or wait and see or whatever, that now are feeling like they have just missed out. and they will not dare let it happen again without them. So you make a great point. Like, I obviously anticipate you guys going back and partying with the Kirks again at 304, but I do think you make a great point that is material that 304 Motorsports Park can put to use for years to come.
Yes. And the first one is always the hardest. You know, if Street Racing Channel goes to 304 Motorsports Park and they've never been there before, then there is no video, there are no photos, you know, there's nothing there. You just have to put as much juice behind it as you can without all those visuals, and pray for the best. But now, oh my gosh, the video and the pictures and everything of that place, now everybody knows where that place is and they know what it is. You know what I mean? And so, like I said, that's what we try to do. We want to leave, if we go to a track, we want to leave it in better form and shape than it was when we got there. And they're already talking about upgrades for the next.
I'm excited for it.
They learn.
No, I mean, they learn from these things, and I'll tell you, it's that whole concept is something that needs to be, because that's like your marketing materials for next year. Like, you know how much easier sponsors are going to be to sell, how much easier it is going to be promote because you have this treasure trove of material. And I think you're right. The first year is always hard. Sporty Bandemir at Bandemir Speedway out in Denver, Colorado, he told me when we were launching the World Series of Pro Mod in 2017, he said, Wes, it takes 3 years. He goes, year one is kind of like providing proof of concept. We're planting our flag. Here's what we're going to try to do. He goes, year two, you're demonstrating consistency. You can do it again, right? You're proving that you can maintain a certain level of execution. Yes. And then it's in year 3, 4, 5 that you really start cooking with gas. So it's when you start off with this level of momentum, Bill, you're in a good spot. You're in a really good spot. Very few promoters get to have that experience. And obviously, Billy and yourself have worked really hard on your YouTube channels and have created this huge following. So, you know, it's not a total shock, but man, it's a good place to be.
Well, this was mostly 100% Billy. I mean, it was 100% Billy. You know, I was sharing the stuff, you know, and trying to help him there towards, you know, as we were getting closer. But this was 100% him. He did a fantastic job. I'm really proud of him.
We are too, brother. I appreciate you spending some time with us. Why don't you come on again in the next couple of weeks? Because you and I have had a lot of great off the record conversations that I think need to be had in the light of day. So we'd love to have you come on and chat some more about. Obviously, we got a lot of movement in the industry, the IHRA stuff, these track situations, a lot of things that I know you have an opinion on, especially with where so much of this is at. But I'd love to chat with you in the near future, brother. Let's do it.
Yeah, holler at me.
Appreciate you, Bill. Stay out of trouble. Ladies and gentlemen, the old man himself, Bill Hoskinson. Appreciate you, boss.
Thanks, brother. See you, buddy.
JT, Mike, we're making some hay. I thought we were going to get real behind. I'm like, we're fitting to be really, really behind, and we're back to about 10 minutes behind. So we're
blasting through it.
Yeah, we're blasted through it.
What's up with the tech, man? We're StreamYard. Shit's back.
I emailed them.
Did you? You didn't CC me on it. This correspondence I was left out of.
I don't CC you on about anything.
You don't CC me on anything. I find out about it when I arrive.
Inbox is just like a black hole. Don't ever try to even.
Hey man, I got a lot better. I got AI checking my email now, and I have a morning triage and an afternoon triage set up, and I get a morning report from my AI of here's the emails that you got that you need to respond to, and then I get another one at 4 o'clock that tells me here's the emails you've got since the morning triage that you need to respond to. And yeah, man,
triage really like
that's triage.
Have like a medical term to it.
AI.
I get into it with mine. Like, don't tell me what to do.
Oh, dude, I let mine do whatever it wants. Like if it's know. Like anything it
Sometimes
offers
we
to
can't
do.
Tell.
Yeah, no, I know, dude. I got it posting in our Slack channels. If it would send text for me, I would have it send text.
The convergence is well on the way between Wes Buck and his AI bot.
Dude, I'm a cyborg at this point.
I wondered as fast as you were talking earlier. I was like, man, what?
Did he already?
You're the second person to say some shit this week about how fast I talk.
Is this the T2000?
Rick Horde asked, and this is
The
almost
TT1000.
embarrassing. Monday, Rick Horde from Jerry Bickle Race Cars asked me, he goes, how do you talk so fast and so long without breathing?
Just came out with it.
And I'm
Leave it
like,
to Rick to just
Man.
go with it.
be nice. Be nice.
I
Like,
was just thinking like you had like 2 pots of coffee or something, but yeah.
no, dude, I'm
With extra
actually,
espresso.
right now, I'm rolling on like 250 milligram of caffeine. That's what I'm on right now.
I
I'll
don't
hit it
keep
again.
track. I mean, like,
I'll
Well, I
hit it
do-
again in a little bit. About 5 o'clock when I head to the gym, I'll hit it again. And yeah, I'm just I'm about a
Coffee's your
400 to
pre-workout?
500 milligram of caffeine a day guy right now.
with pre-workout in it.
No, that is the pre-workout.
Mm.
I take the
Caffeine is
stuff
the
in the morning,
pre-workout.
a scoop in the morning, and typically to just get the, fire up the senses,
would
light
die.
up my frontal cortex, and then I do the same thing before I hit the gym.
And then he wonders why he's
You know?
sweating through his clothes. I've seen the other side of
Hey,
it.
dude, I don't
Right?
sweat as bad. Now that I've lost some weight, I don't sweat near as bad. That was clearly
Yeah.
driven by being chubby. That's what it was. I think it really
Yeah,
was.
You haven't been chubby for 20 years.
Ooh, I don't know. I've got some
Yeah.
photos that would say
Like that.
otherwise. If you saw the dude, I'm actually not thrilled with any of the photography from the Winter Series. Like I saw the photos, I was going through some stuff for our sponsor deck, and I'm like, bro, I did not photograph well this winter.
Just
At all.
embrace it. We're
No.
getting old. It's all
Yeah.
right to be fat.
No,
Well, you guys are. I'm not getting old. I mean, shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jake,
All right. Now we're getting behind. Look at us.
Now we
said
are getting
weren't
behind.
gonna get
All right, guys. This one we tried to pull off last week, but we had a scheduling conflict. But I wasn't going to dare let him off the hook. A, because I think he's a fantastic human being. B, because he just scored what I believe to be one of the biggest accomplishments of his drag racing career. And C, because he's got to come on the Wes Buck Show and talk about it. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for our dear friend here, Drag and Drive superstar and Pro Mod rising star, the one and only Ned Dunphy.
Hello,
Woo!
Wes.
What's up,
Hey,
Ned?
everybody.
What's going on, buddy?
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it. What an open.
No, I appreciate you joining us, man. I know you got a lot of stuff cooking, but it just felt, as you may have heard in the green room, I know what it takes. We know you're talking to a couple people here that have spent our entire lives at the racetracks and watched our dads chase their drag racing dreams and supported every way we can. And we know how hard it is to win. And when I look at what you went through at the recently completed PDRA national event at Bristol Dragway, I think I heard Lyle
Unreal.
Barnett say that it's a gunfight, and it's maybe an understatement. It may be an understatement what you're dealing with. Congratulations, man. I mean, take us through this whole situation. Like, obviously, you've been competing with the PDRA all season long. We saw you make a hell of a splash in the Winter Series this year, qualify for the World Series of Pro Mod, the baddest Pro Mod race of them all. Really make your presence known in this space as a Pro Mod guy. I remember begging Brandon Stroud at the Shakedown last year, what do I got to do to get Ned on big tires? He's like, I think we can make that happen. So anyways, here we are. Ned's on big tires. Ned's in the winner's circle. Take us through it.
Yeah. So first, let's start with Wes. You don't need to talk slower. People need to listen faster because I have the same issue, right? I'm not slowing down. My brain's going twice as fast as my mouth. If you can't keep up, that's on you, not me. Right,
I
let's
like
go.
it. I like it. Man. I'm going to steal that.
Yeah. So, I said in one of my interviews, this is a we thing. I got an awesome crew around me. So Jay Clegg is my crew chief, and he's out in the morning while I'm making coffee, going over valve springs, checking lash. Like that car is buttoned. Chad McGregor, who spends his time with an HRA in between, like he comes and slums it with me at Pro Boost. And so just a guy with a knowledge base and a work ethic that's unbelievable. And Robbie Kellerhalls is tuning for me. And so Robbie is protecting me from me, which is great, right? I would put the car at 357 off the trailer. We'd blow it up and not make the laps. And so we go 363, 362 on purpose. This is one of those weekends where it came together. So starting and testing, right? Everything was working great. We never fought a mechanical issue in the car, which a lot of people know. If you're doing a head, if you're doing a piston, if you're doing valves, like it can take away the mojo. We maintenance the car, spark plugs, change the oil, change the trans fluid. So in between, all of our time was on the log looking at performance. And then I just had a good weekend. It happens, right? I was clairvoyant. My test lights were, 005, 004, 009, 14. Opening qualifier, I go red because I'm so pumped up. And so like the guys are on my mic telling me at each lap, Ned, this is Q6, this is Q7, this is Q8, like slow down, ease it up. Lyle talked a lot about putting in the delay, right? So we debated and debated and debated, and I would hate to lose on a delay, but also hate to lose on red. So frankly, the first round against Raymond Matos, just went up there and we made a good pass. We had a quicker car, quicker lights. That was sort of a nice round. Him and I have been together before. He owed me one because he's taken me out on a round one elimination before. And we said that to each other as we hugged at the finish line. Round two, though, I got Paul Gargas, who's fantastic. And so I was nervous. I was amped, and I went trip zip. Right. And I'll tell you, I'd like to say I did it on purpose. I think I was like, just amped to the moon, cut the trip zip and so that was a whole shot win with like a 0044 margin of victory. So I go down the track, I see the green light. I'm like, oh my gosh. And he's a flathead, right? So here we are in our screw and we took out a flathead. I was like, sweet. So then I get Fletcher, and Fletcher's big personality, right? We're in the lanes and I love it because he's been on the spotlight with NFL. He's been a celebrity his whole life. The night before, by the way, some people came over. He was pitted next to me. They asked to take pictures with Fletcher. And I was like, oh, that's so cool. So I took their camera, took pictures. And the people are so nice up there. They said, hey, we'll take a picture with you too. I'm like, they don't know who I am. So Fletcher took a picture of the three of us together. These people are like, who's this Ned guy? But anyways, we're in the lanes. He comes over and says, hey, good luck, be safe, like you always do with the other drivers. He goes, hey, don't forget to smile. And he walked away. And I thought that's kind of like some really cool professional athlete advice, because I'm in the car, I'm nerved, I'm tight, like the whole camera's going, it's E3. And that resonated, like, don't forget to smile. So some awesome advice from Fletcher Cox. And
that's awesome.
We get up to the tree and he went red by accident and, we drove out. So that was one of those, like, as soon as I let go of the button, my lane's lighting, the green light on the board and then flashing down the track. And so I was like screaming as I make my lap. Then we get Lyle. I'm like, well, that's it, man. Like, Lyle is the light cutter. Right. There's no way he's showing up tight. So, but anyways, we put in a tune-up that we knew would go down the track. Thankfully, I say this because he is such a driver, like to have them have like an issue with a little bit of spark plug, him to put in a delay that he miscalculated so he wouldn't go red because he was amped up as well. And I just happened to get a good tree on a 13. And so it's just a weekend that all came together. It really did. And I'm super grateful and I'm feeling really good about it. And, you get certain things from doing that, which is pretty cool. And sorry, that just happens from time to time. But, coming off this, is it a big deal? Yeah, it's a big deal. Like, I've never had one of these before. And I'm like, oh God, like, it's just things you just keep thinking about, right? I'm trying to stay humble. I'm trying to just be myself. But at the end of the day, I just won one of the biggest races in history.
Oh, it's so true, man. I mean, and that's one of the things is it's like I read an article earlier this week, I think, or maybe it was last week. Competitionplus.com did an article on Mark Beatty, who's a longtime friend of ours here at Drag Illustrated and joined the team at PDRA in recent weeks. And he was talking about how like PDRA being something of like the best kept secret in the sport. And it's like, hey, man, for those of us that are paying attention, that is not the case. We know that that's where those are shark infested waters. Like, I know racers that opt not to go there because they just don't feel like getting their teeth kicked in this weekend. You know what I mean? Like, they would rather race somewhere else because it's going to be a little bit more manageable competition wise. So I tip my cap to everybody that makes those toes all around the East Coast to compete in the PDRA, because you really are lining up with an absolute who's who of door slammer royalty, man. And to see your name on that list, I mean, you're joining, there's been a lot of PDRA winners over the years. Don't get me wrong. Pro Boost, this is a decade long tradition, over a decade, 12 years, I believe. But still, it's Melanie Salemi, it's Ty Tutterow, it's Todd Tutterow, it's Jason Harris. I mean, these are guys that undoubtedly likely belong on the Pro Mod Mount Rushmore. So, I mean, for you, like coming up through this sport, a streetcar guy, that's when I first encountered you. Like, I would love to know kind of like what the mindset was. Like, when I first encountered Ned Dunphy, it was with a super fast orange V10 Dodge Viper. You were doing all these roll races. You were doing the airstrip racing. I met you through Ron Moen, who is a mutual friend of ours at Vengeance Racing. Shout out to our boys at Vengeance in Atlanta. I met you through him, but he had told me, like, this guy's the real deal. Like, he's very serious about this. He will not stop with a streetcar. And I'm just curious, we had Chase Lautenbach on the show last week from Streetcar Takeover, right? And we were just talking about how, in my mind, the health and wellness of those street legal, street strip organizations and events is like super critical, because there may be a Ned Dunphy somewhere in the pits that is going to, move along in his career, maybe move along in his small business, or just move up in the world, right? Get to a place in life where he can do more and invest more into a passion like drag racing. And I feel like you're kind of a classic example of that, is someone who kind of cut their teeth in the street strip, street legal, something you could still drive to Sonic or take your kids around in. But now here you are, like, we've obviously seen you build this wildly exotic drag and drive Dodge Viper. But now you've got like
that's the baddest drag car. That's like the GOAT to me right now. That thing, Craig Cook even posted that, I think, in some of his reporting from this weekend. And you rolled that thing out and tested it after the win at Bristol. Just seeing that thing, it's like, it gets better looking every time I see it out. So I'm excited to see that thing.
Man. God, those things make good looking race cars. Awesome. But like to see you evolve, can you just kind of take us through, like, I mean, share what you're willing to share, but just like the life cycle or the story or the markers in life that brought you to here? Because I think it's something that, you know, the NHRA types or even the PDRA types, like a lot of times we as a sport kind of turn our nose up at those streetcar kids, let's call them, right? But they're really important, and you're proof positive of that.
Yeah. Well, thank you. So it's the addiction, which we all have suffered from. And I'll also tell you that, so starting off the streetcar thing, having your name announced over the loudspeakers, right? Being up to pull up the lanes, do a burnout, and you got people sitting in the bleachers, finishing your pass, and then coming back in where people slapping you back and congratulating, sort of got me hooked. By the way, Wes and Mike, are we still rolling? Because I just went
yes, yeah, you just got your big screen. Yeah, keep talking.
I'm big screen. Oh, I got the whole thing to myself, thankfully. Yeah. Okay, good. So the streetcar takeover, yes, I did lots and lots of those, right? It was dabbling between roll racing and doing the dig racing. And you found out you had a fan base, right? I even have like a little model of my orange Viper here. Yeah. I'd show up at the start line and people came to the track to see the Viper. And so I was a guy who just had the love of doing hard stuff, souping up the cars, been doing it since high school, and then started having a little bit of success, and then loved the competitive nature of it. And it started with a half mile, which didn't draw as big of a crowd. It's over a huge surface area, but you got the feeling of going fast. And the first time you get to let go of that button on a drag strip and feel the G-forces when you launch, that was all it took for me. It was literally one single launch. I'm like, I love this. And so it progressed over time, right? And this is where I was going faster, quicker, modifying the car faster, quicker. And we got to the point in the streetcar world where I think I tapped that Viper out as far as, you know, without me having to spend $1 million more on it. And we were running right near 7 seconds, 701, 702, 703 at 200 miles an hour in the quarter. And so I decided to go bigger and step up into it wasn't to the pro mod, it was to go do drag and drive. That's what that Viper was built for. And once we built the Viper, which went into a tube chassis, went on a big block, went with big turbos, it was so much different than the streetcar. Streetcar's dual purpose, right? Street and track. Whereas the drag car, 100% ready to go down the track. And so it had a whole new meaning for it. And even my wife was telling me along the way, say, you got to do a car with one purpose. Stop doing street and half mile and quarter mile and dig and roll, because we were changing parts and always chasing a sequence, chasing a tune. So once I got into a drag and drive type car, which we did on big tire, it was a 33-inch, not a 36. I knew that was for me, which was sticking with it. And I think one of our first events was to go up to Maryland at the what's that event called? Wes, you referenced it earlier, the huge one there.
US 131.
No. This is World Cup. We went to World Cup.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, import versus domestic. Yeah,
import versus domestic at the World Cup, and we did Warrior versus Trace Quattro in the Orange Viper, and we were like, this event is awesome. I've never been to such a populated event. Went back the next year with the Viper in its drag and drive trim, and we entered the extreme class. Now, we were number 17 on a 16-cup bubble, so we never made the field. But again, racing with all big names, a lot of street outlaws, and that was a huge crowd with tons of media coverage. So putting that car out there on that stage with that many people, I just kept wanting to go quicker. And so the Blue Viper got to a point where we converted it to a radial car because RVW, so to me, proximity to home, right? So Long does all the races pretty much around the Southeast. There's the one that goes up to 131, but most of them are 4 or 5 hour ride. So to be able to go out there on a Wednesday, race, come home on a Sunday, 4 hours, 5 hours was great. But the Viper was, you know, a knife to a gunfight at RVW, especially as guys started figuring out their combos. We were heavier. We still had the street driving capacity on that car with trailer hitches and double electrical and fuel pumps and all this other stuff. So the opportunity came along for a rolling chassis. And Ryan Rakestraw, who builds my cars, helps me maintain the cars, really good friend of mine. He's like, you're going to have a blast if you get yourself into a real car. And so I bought this orange, you know, which is an RJ chassis Pro Mod. At the same time, Eric Dillard, good friend of mine and huge supporter over at Proline. He's like, Ned, we've got a Noonan 4.9, which I think is going to work perfect. The screws are impossible to find. I've got one on the shelf for you. And so 6 weeks later, 8 weeks later, we're making noise with that car in the shop. Ryan got it. Dillard supplied all the parts. Fuel Tech came in with all the stuff. John Homeyer wired the whole car. So I've got a world-class built car that now is waiting for the driver to show up. So we spent a season in RVW, which was fantastic and great. And we're having fun. And then we decided to go on to the big tires because guys like you, Wes, would come around. You showed up at 131 when the Pro Mods and the radio cars were running. I think it was last summer. And so you're walking around campaigning. Obviously, Winter Series, World Series of Pro Mod, massive. So I'm going towards the crowds. And then having a series where what I really like about the Pro Boost, especially PDRA, short races, right? So you're talking about those campaign events. So we literally can drive out on Wednesday and park the truck at 8 o'clock at night. We test on Wednesday. We qualify on Friday. We race on Saturday, and I'm home. So as far as being able to balance my work life while I'm still working, right, family life, it's a 3.5, 4 day away from home event. So PDRA fit my need for schedule. Thankfully, I did not get involved into the IHRA stuff. Feel bad for that whole thing and the people involved, but I was focusing on PDRA this year. We've missed one race, and we're going to miss the last race, unfortunately, because of drag week. But I'm going racing. I'm not missing it for any other reason.
So exactly.
So now we go Pro Boost, and all of a sudden, well, for your event was like the eye opener. The 3 in a row where the whole field is separated by whatever it was, 10 or 15 100ths of a second.
Yeah,
the whole
4
field,
hundredths of a second. Yeah,
80 guys. I'm like, oh, so now it's not who brought the bigger turbo, who brought the better nitrous. It's literally driver skill tuning. And so on the World Series of Pro Mod, I think we qualified number 18, surprised ourselves with that. We went back like, did that just happen? Like, wow. And then as you remember, E1, I was so pumped up. I think I left 400 red. Like I went on the second yellow bulb and like my crew was like, what are you doing? I was pumped out of my brain, ready to go down that track. So we'll do better at the next one, I promise.
Don't you worry, you're going to have a shot at it. But no, I mean, it's, to me, like I think about the iterations of this, and it's like, this is like the classic, because I've always said Pro Mod to me is like the ultimate entrepreneur category. Like it's don't get me wrong, this is no sort of like budget friendly endeavor, obviously, but it is still well within, like, it's well within reason. Like the dream is still alive. You know, a couple of small business owners or a guy that's got a successful small business, he can go Pro Mod racing. Can he go run with Stevie Jackson? Maybe not. But can he go run and be guilty by association and participate in those things and have a dog in the fight? Yeah. And that's why I really feel in so many ways that Pro Mod is the future of drag racing, because the cars are fast, they're out of control, they are challenging to drive, they're challenging to tune, but we're still not to the point of $100,000 a weekend, right? The way Top Fuel and Funny Car has kind of gotten to, and God bless that stuff. It's the ultimate. There's no doubt about it. But I do oftentimes go, this drag Pro Mod is just like a great fit. I mean, the fact that we keep a list, I think 186 guys earned points in national or regional series last season in Pro Mod. That's a huge inventory of drivers. That's a lot of equipment, you know, and if you're going to build a business, what do you need? Inventory, right? I mean, and it's like, I look at Pro Mod, whether it's Pro Nitrous or Pro Boost or the handful of iterations that exist, there's a hell of an inventory here, man. And I can tell you that we're surely glad that Ned Dunphy is involved. We got a guest in the green room that I want to bring on to join this conversation. If you've got a minute, ladies and gentlemen, longtime friend of ours at Drag Illustrated, one of the main men at the PDRA, Tyler Crossnoe. What's up, brother?
What's up, guys? How are y'all?
We're doing well, man.
Look, I gotta say, if that interview doesn't pump you up and make you go, man, that's one of my guys and he flies my flag, dude, that's awesome. Like,
well, that's why I brought you on early, because I'm going, you know what, Tyler needs to participate in this, because this is a conversation that I'm so glad is happening in front of the world, because there's really something great going on within the PDRA. Like, and it's been going on for a long time. I mean, this is nothing new. For those of us that have been paying attention, or any student of the game knows that there is serious drag racing happening at the PDRA. But Tyler, I just got it, like, to see Ned, I mean, give me an honest reaction. To see Ned this excited, showing off his PDRA 660, man, like, I hope you're walking around with your chest puffed out the rest of the afternoon.
Man, it just makes you feel good. You know, there's a lot of times on our side of the fence that you look at it and you go, man, did people really realize what all went into what made this event happen, or however things go? You know, there's a lot of times that when it's quiet after an event or something like that, you just wonder, dang, did people realize what all went into that? To see racers, to see people like Ned come in and just enjoy being there. Dude, I remember the first time Ned came to the race, hadn't made a lap down the racetrack, walks up, gives me a big hug and says, hey, I'm pumped to be here. And I'm like, bro, you haven't done anything but gone through tech yet. And that's the worst part. Like, But
Yeah.
that's what makes it so much easier for Wes, myself, so many other people in our industry. When people are excited to be there, it makes us excited to be there. It relights a fire under us as well, because it does get kind of in a spot where we kind of look at it and go, oh, hey, we're going to another drag race. But when everybody's excited to be there, when everybody wants to be there, when they want to chase that PDRA 660, man, that's what makes it special. And man, we're pumped that you got your first one in Bristol. We know it's the first of many for sure. The way you and that team have been performing this year, we've said it all year that like you've come up on the wrong side of so many good races, that your weekend's coming, and your weekend came at Bristol.
It did. Yeah. Thank you, Tyler. We'll keep building it. We will come. And, we need a place to go. Wes, you talked about my crew needs work. Let's go racing. The guys building the car want me to turn and burn on this thing, right? Proline wants those rods shaken out of it every 20 runs. Let's go. And so for me, I just need a place to go do it, because I'm not going on the street like Billy and getting arrested with my pro mod. So yeah,
exactly, man. It's, I mean, the whole thing is, it's pretty amazing how far this class, and like I've said this a lot, and you've heard me in my drivers meeting spiels, but like there is a community. I feel like we've built something of a fraternity here, right? There is a group of men and women that if we can continue, and if we can grab some of the stragglers and there's an opportunity here. Like there really is, as there is some doom and gloom that exists in our space right now. There's no doubt about it, but there is an opportunity on the other side of it. One of my good friends, Paul Lee, that owns McLeod Clutches and races Funny Car, he always says we don't use the word problem, we use the word opportunity. And I do think that on the heels of this whole situation that we've gone through, there's a big opportunity, right? Because we've proven that the demand is there. There are some racers there, right? There are a lot of racers that are looking for something to call home, right? Looking for someone or something to embrace them. Tyler, Tommy, Mark, everybody at PDRA, I think you guys are doing a great job of exactly that. And I hope we've got a whole lot of room to grow here, and there's a big opportunity. I am curious, missing the last race, totally understand it, because Hot Rod Drag Week is so much a part of your story. You talk about your fan base, Ned. We've seen it on our own social media, because I was like, whenever I'll be honest, like I wanted to leverage your audience. Like when I invited you to participate in the Winter Series last year and invited you to be a part of the World Series of Pro Mod, I'm going, this guy he talks as fast as I do, so I like it.
That's right.
B, but you speak my language. I think you understand we're trying to grow and build something here that serves us all, right?
Mm-hmm.
But lastly, you've got an audience, right? And I'm going, we need someone that we can, because I would argue that there are fans that have gone to every Sick Week or every Hot Rod Drag Week that have never seen a Pro Mod race. Like your Viper is as close to a Pro Mod as they've ever seen, and it's got power windows, right? Yep. So I felt like if we could harness Ned Dunphy's following and bring a few of those eyeballs, even if it's only a small percentage, it can only help, right? And we saw it in action, right? I mean, like, I'm sure you saw it down there. I saw people wearing Ned Dunphy t-shirts. So I'm like, okay, mission accomplished. What do you make of like the fan following that you were able to build on the back of Drag and Drive competition? Because it's pretty, like, you're a celebrity in that space at this point in time, my friend.
I like to be a little more humble than that, but I appreciate that, Wes.
Yeah.
It's the relatability, right? Everybody can do it. So Billy's out there, right, in a stock Fox Body Mustang right now, smashing his T5, but he's having a blast. And by the way, he's at someone's backyard. The neighbor came over and offered. So that neighbor offering is the exact people that go around Drag Week. It's a really cool culture. And people are begging to help you. They're begging to be a part of it. They're rooting for you. They're rooting against you. It's not a street car. It is a street car. Who cares? Let's just go have some fun. And so I'm honored by that. And we took the Viper out of the trailer at the most recent PDRA race, and people coming over, walking right by the Pro Mod to go take pictures with the Viper, including one lady came over. She bought a ticket to get in. Good for you, Tyler. Didn't stay. She came and took pictures of the Viper with her kid and leave. So I was like, that's pretty darn cool. She's like, I follow you on social media. I was flattered.
Man, I guess
so
I owe you one for that.
Yeah. We'll talk about that later. So I think it's the relatability. I also try to do my best to, when people come around, answer questions, talk about the car, what it is, what's it like, complain about how hot and bumpy and noisy and stinky it is. That's a race car on the street. And when things break, not try to hide it. Like, yeah, I screwed up, or we broke a differential, or we got a valve spring that hung up. I've enjoyed the people that share their failures. And so I try to do that, because at the end of the day, right, this isn't all that serious. It's not life or death. I'm going to have fun. And if I break a valve spring, we got to talk about it. If I break a crank, we're going to talk about it. Most of the time it's driver error or something else, but I'm just having fun with it. I think people are addicted to fun.
You've got the quickest overall average in the history of not only Hot Rod Drag Week, but also drag and drive competition as a whole. 6:17 with a 5. Bested Jeff Lutz, who I believe was the previous record holder, with a 6:19. I'm curious, like, we were all watching with bated breath. I hate to admit that I was like watching Drag Week last year specifically to see what you were doing. And as the whole thing unfolded, I mean, do you go and try to, we just heard Billy Hoskinson talk about trying to one-up Tess by a couple hundredths or whatever. Do you guys go into this event? Is it just survive, or do you go in with like a performance goal, Ned?
Yeah, this year is super heated. You know, we've got big hitters. So Larry Larson coming out of retirement, hasn't done it in a long time. He's got that S10 that's capable. I think he just ran 6.0 somethings in one of the drag and drives he's doing. Lutz is now with Rick Ware Racing, right? So he's got his car. I forget the name of it, the yellow one, but that thing's going to come very serious, ready to roll again. And he put up like a 570 on day 0 last week at Drag Week. And we went, it's over. But then he never made day 1. So we said, we have a chance. We got, Brian Goldstone, who's always in it to win it. His car's getting wired right now. They're thrashing to get it done. Dave Schroeder shows up, right? He comes a long way, I think, from Canada with a nitrous Corvette, but he's getting that car dialed. If he gets that figured out, he's dangerous. Devin Vanderhoof, that Mustang that he runs is super quick. He's been bottom 6s, 230, so he's in contention. And then Tom Bailey. Tom Bailey's got the Sick Week 2.0, so if that car comes out, 7 or 8 guys right there, 5 capable. And while I want to win it, because I'm a competitive guy, I would really love to trade places day to day and make it like a, whether it's a 601, 602, 604, or 599, 596, 597, because one guy's going to get the brag of the average 5. Eventually, someone's going to get the everyday 5, but a win is a win also. And my 6.17 beat out a 6.19. It's not like I ran away with it. So to answer your question, it was a long answer. We have one more day of testing. We're going to test in the back of Tyler's upcoming event. We're staying up at Toronto Motorsports Park there in Benson for the Sunday, because we never got a chance to run out the quarter. A huge thunderstorm came in and shut us down, but our 8th mile numbers are looking real good. And we're trying to dial a comfortable 595. So if we get there, we're starting the week on a 595 tune-up. If we're not there, it's probably going to be bottom 6s, and then Thursday, Friday, when there's nothing left, turn it up.
Because, dude, that is exciting, because I feel like that is what drag, like, at least for me as a fan of the unlimited category, the last several years, it's been like one guy to watch, right? And there wasn't a lot of back and forth. There wasn't a lot of people in the hunt. But now I'm going, okay, this is going to be juicy, because we're literally going to have, some of the guys from the glory days, let's say, about, the Larry Larsons, the Jeff Lutzes, like, back in the mix. This is very exciting. And you've got to defend your crown right now. You've got to hold it down. So curious, do you learn anything from Pro Mod racing that like is backwards compatible?
Yeah, so maintenancing on the car, we are learning so much more about valve lash, like, which is so temperamental with temperature, hot and cold. Me in the driver's seat, like, my nerves are way down, because at a drag and drive, it's you have the first 1 second to let go of the button. If you go past a second, they add to your ET. So if I can cut double zeros, all I have to do is 100s, 200s, 300s all week. Yeah. The pressure is off to like really shallow stage. Just take it easy, bump it in, get it right. So it makes the driving a lot of fun. Also, I've been now wrenching on the car with my co-pilot Jay for a long time. I'm getting better, because I wasn't that good at the beginning. So now we're both quicker, his routine, my routine, because turning that car from street to track, track to street wears you out after 7 or 8 days. So the quicker, faster, more efficient we can do it, the better. Simple is best, right? We had hard things to do last time. We're making things where there's not a Zeus, tool. It's a clip that we can just turn. So you're not looking for where's the Zeus clip, stuff like that.
No, that makes sense, because it's like there's so much, such an undertaking. Like, I remember I actually lent a hand to Joe Barry during Sick Week a few years ago. That was the year I tore my bicep. I was yanking. He needed help switching his car over from drag trim to street trim, and buzzed the lug nuts off, grabbed the bottom of the tire, and you know how you got to like rock the tire off the wheel studs, and especially out from under that 55. I hear this tear. And I tore my bicep, and I'm like, oh God, I think I need to go to the hospital. But just watch, like, and I had watched these guys all week, Alex Taylor and all them, like, it's a huge endeavor to get this thing switched over from street to race trim. And we actually had a conversation on here one time with Jeff Lutz, and he talked about like the emotional and mental exhaustion of just like facing defeat so frequently during the course of a drag and drive, that it will just like, you're down in the dumps 1 second, you're up, you're 10 foot tall and bulletproof the next, and you've gone without sleep, you're eating like crap. Like the whole thing is just, it's as much of a war of attrition on your body and mind as it is the machine you're working on. I think that's something that kind of gets a little undersold or maybe glossed over by the masses, that like you guys being able to do this effectively is as important as the car starting.
Well, we need to cover more, I think, of the between track driving, not just the passes, right? To see the guy sitting there at 10 o'clock at night with a head, you're doing the bob, you know, cruising through cornfields where there's nobody and the car is hot and cold. One of our saviors, somebody come up to us with a box of those Uncrustables and be like it was nourishment, it was food. I don't remember the gentleman, but it was wonderful. It goes up at Maple Grove. So you're right. There's a lot that goes in it, but that's what makes the reward so worth it as well. You show up at the next track, you put it in race mode, you make a pass you wanted to make. It's not just the one single pass, which we do at drag events. It literally is the 12 or 15 hours before that it took you to that moment, and you do it 5 days in a row. So you got to be a guy or a person who likes to suffer a little bit, you know, and then get the reward. If you don't want to suffer, don't do a drag and drive. There is some suffering for sure.
There's definitely some suffering, man. Well, Ned, congratulations. Oh yeah, you're good.
Wes, yeah, last time around, you said you were going to think about doing Drag Week this year. You had a car, and I think Mike were going to be co-pilots. Like, what's going on? Where are we?
Well, Jimmy Dale blew the motor up in my car. Right. So we talked about putting. Oh, no. So he didn't. It actually wasn't his fault, but it's way more fun to blame it on him. You know what I mean? Like, it's way more fun. It broke a lifter and a bunch of metal went through the motor, and it's a whole thing. But anyways, he does have a turbo LS that we talked, because it would be like perfect for that, because that's, if I were to drag, there has been a point in my life where I spent my whole life, all I ever wanted to do was drag race, right? Like every waking moment. But I've gotten to the point now where it's like, I don't think that ship sailed for me, but like I just got one kid off to college. I got my daughter starting middle school. And it's like, the reality is that I don't know that I'm in the season of my life for it right now. You know what I mean? Like I've got to grow my business. I'm trying to put on the biggest drag race on the planet Earth. Like I've got to focus my attention, and I know that I've got limited bandwidth, and it's like, but I will. Drag and drive is where I feel like that would be my home, right? Like me personally, like I want pro mod, like I want to be Vince McMahon in that world. You know what I'm saying? I want you to be Andre the Giant and Jason Harris to be Hulk Hogan, and so on and so forth. I want to be the circus master, and I really love to throw a party. That's like my favorite thing, is to get people together and have a good time. So it's like, all right, that's my path currently, but my dream is to have, I want to get like a single frame rail old pro stock car. I would love to do this. This is kind of my dream. Tyler, I think you'll like this. But buy like,
I know where you're going already.
Buy like a 95 or 6 Don Ness Firebird, right? And like do vintage paint schemes on it. Like do the McDonald's car one year that Jim Yates drove. Put a Lenco in it with a Lenco 5-speed. You know, maybe buy an old 500-inch pro stock engine. Take a ton of compression out of it. Not be trying to go set the world on fire, but just be driving down the road in like, you know, the Warren Johnson GM Performance Parts old Cutlass. I think it would be so badass to bring back like what was some of my favorite race cars. And those cars are, I'm not saying they're a dime a dozen, but they're relatively reasonable. You know what I mean? And just do like a modest big block deal with a clutch and a 5-speed and drive it down the road. It's something that's relatively low maintenance, where I'm not trying to do what Ned Dunphy's doing and got a twin turbo pro line deal or whatever and go 590s. No, but just go be guilty by association, make it a little bit of a spectacle, do it how we do it. That's kind of that's on my list. Like on my vision board is, it's like, buy an old single frame rail pro stock car, put a big block in it and a Lenco 5-speed, and go drag and drive. That's my, and I'm going to make Mike and JT go with me. So
I like it. I love it. And let me one more thing. I want to give Tyler, your crew, a shout out. So I know changing topic a little bit, but
no, you're good.
The folks that check us in, right? Wonderful. I mean, literally, I print my QR codes. They hand it back. Like, we know who you are. Right. That's kind of cool when you show up at the booth and she gives me the wristbands and all that stuff. Second, the scale guys, like, talk about fans. You end up at the end of a pass, they already know what the reaction time was, who won. The scale guys are into the race as much as anybody else on that track, which is awesome. Starters too, come up to lane, like, it's smooth, it's easy. You need a minute, you're good with your gear. So everywhere around the track, I don't know if you get the feedback from the racers, but you have an awesome group of people at these events, and that's a difference maker also. So thank you.
Thank you.
Awesome. I couldn't agree more. Ned, congratulations on everything. I'll talk to you soon. We'll see you at the drag strip, hopefully sooner rather than later. Be safe. Congrats.
Thank you for having me on, Wes. Appreciate it very much.
It, brother.
Thank you.
Talk soon.
See you soon, Tyler. Bye.
Thanks, Ed.
All right, guys. Hey, JT, real quick before we continue our conversation with the one and only Tyler Crossnoe, let me take a quick second and remind everybody that the Wes Buck Show is brought to you each and every week by our dear friends at Redline Synthetic Oil. Formulated to win, proven by you. Since 1979, Redline has had you covered. From 11,000 horsepower nitro engines to class-style applications in all forms of high performance and racing. Their lineup spans everything from a 5-weight race oil all the way up to their 70-weight nitro oil, and the best in the business know it. Ty Tutterow, Steve Torrance, Callie Mills, Spencer Hyde, Scott Palmer, Tommy Franklin, champions and contenders who trust Redline to get the job done. Check out their full lineup at redlineoil.com. When you know, you know. Mike, JT, TC's in the house. What's going on, buddy? How we got some news breaking today regarding the PDRA, another cool program. I always love seeing you thinking outside of the box, trying something different. You were telling me about this earlier in the week. Lay it out for us.
Well, first off, it sounds like Victory Vinyl just got a new job.
I know, that's what I was thinking.
I guess you got a lot of gigs.
We're going to be rotating wraps on this drag and drive car. I like that.
I think.
Don't you think that would be fun?
Just
like that's we're going to do that, Michael. Like Michael, we're going to do.
When he said it, I felt bad instantly. Like, damn, we did say we were going to do that. Now we're not. But we need to get that going for sure.
Yes. And I will say, like, we got to be a part of Drag Week a couple years ago at Virginia. That's a cool event, man. If you've never been a part of it, I am the one that will say, spend time to go. Whether it's Sick Week, whether it's Drag Week, whatever. Make an effort to go to one in your lifetime if you're a motorsports fan.
Ned nailed it when he said culture.
Yes.
I've been to Hot Rod Drag Week several times, but Mike, JT, Nate, and I went on Sick Week a few years ago, and we did the full pull. Or we did 4 or 5 days of the 7 or something. Anyways, I tore my bicep, had to go home. But I don't know that I have ever seen anything quite like that. I mean, just the amount of fun that was being had, and it was like so little to do with the racing. Like the racing was so secondary. It was the checkpoints, the photo ops, the dinners, the meetups. Like it was such an incredible thing that I still, like, while I was there, it was intoxicating. I'm going, Mike,
when's the next one?
If we're gonna race, this is the way we're gonna do it. Like 100%. And again, your boy's awkward with tools, not the greatest mechanic here. That's my little brother, my dad,
and what happens.
So
we started a magazine.
Yeah, we've got to, you know, well, I may need a little bit of help. Hopefully Mike's more mechanically inclined than I am. We could probably
between me, you and JT, we'll make it happen. Yeah, it'll be entertaining. We'll record every minute of it. And it will be entertaining as hell. That's
100%. But no, that's the dream, man. That's one of many. I've got a lot of them. I'm a dreamer by nature. So
that's a good one. Make sure you check that box because
I'm gonna try.
That'd be a cool one to do for sure.
I think so. Can't you see pulling up to next to Jim Yates' old McDonald's Pro Stock car at a stoplight, pulling a U-Haul trailer or something? God, that'd be awesome.
I'm surprised you went that direction.
I am too.
What happened to the Cutlass?
Listen,
I just more wanted like a WJ Cutlass.
I just wanted to say something that I thought would be widely recognizable. Check this out. I actually worked on this. So Jason Scruggs, still the original small block car still exists, right? The old Mooney car, like it's not being used. It's like I told Jason that they should like put it. I think it's at Mick Snyder's shop right now. It may be back in Mississippi, but it at one point in time, it was at Mick Snyder Performance, Snyder Motorsports. It was at his shop in Texas. And I'm like, why do you have that car? And he's like, well, Jason doesn't need it. You know what I mean? So it's just sitting here or whatever. And I'm like, that thing needs to be red again with Scruggs Farm on the door of it, or Scruggs Family Racing, and a blower motor. And it needs to go drag and drive racing. You know what I mean? Like, now, granted, we've seen it done, right?
What's it look like now?
It was orange and wrapped up like the Power Sport deal that was Power Sport Transportation. That was the last. I think that's the last color it was, or wrapped.
It's not. Tyler says no.
No, it is, but no, it shouldn't be. It should be red with Scruggs Farm down the side.
Yes, it's got to have Scruggs.
I remember watching that car at little-known Jackson Dragway in Jackson, Tennessee, when I was a baby, and like it was like the coolest thing ever. I'm like, this guy is nuts. And that's how I met Jason Scruggs.
We used to show up to Quick Eights, and he had both cars. He had the small block and the big block, and he just decided which one he wanted to whip your ass with that day. You know, and so you just
that's
one
some
didn't
Jason
work.
Scruggs
He would
stuff
test.
right there.
He would test both of them too, and it just depending on the track and air. You know, you just never know.
That was
Dude,
an iconic
Jason
one.
Scruggs. I think it's probably all right. Let's do it real quick. Most iconic pro mod cars of all time. Let's do like this is a fun little bit. That's got to be. So Mike, you've got a layup here, but I want to hear Tyler. But my first vote is going to be Jason Scruggs, red 400 cubic inch small block Chevy powered 63 Corvette. Tyler,
we're going top 5 most iconic pro mod
most
cars
iconic
of
pro
all
mods.
time.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Like,
Mike,
across
you want to go
all
next?
sanctions. Well, I'm going to choose somebody else. I'm going to throw something different out there.
Okay. Well, I was going to go Jason Scruggs because, of course, I grew up close to him. But since Wes has already laid that one out there, I think you got to go with the Stop Boys with the Radiac Maniac Corvette. I think that one's very like iconic, well-known 63 Corvette body, that kind of deal.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
There's too many, man.
There's
this
two
is
more that stand out to me.
Okay. Well,
this
I
is
think
tough.
this is a fun conversation to have. So
One of them's got to be Scotty Cannon. You've got to pick one of the
Killer
Scotty
Red
Cannon.
Mater has to be.
Yeah, you got to pick one of them.
And I think you got to take Charles Carpenter's 55. Like that was the most iconic 55 growing up for me in Slammer racing. And I'm not saying that because Mike's sitting right beside me on camera because we're a long ways away. You could not hit me right now.
But you almost definitely appreciate that, but you got to roll in like Vandergriff and all the original shoebox guys. But
there's a ton.
You got to also say Barney. You got to say the Willies. You got to get a Willies in there.
I think you got to say, I would say for sure, Barney is in that conversation. And it's like there's so many eras of this whole thing because it's also like the Black Mariah, Jim Oddie, Fred Hahn car.
Somebody just commented Shannon Jenkins, the Iceman.
Yeah.
The Camaro. Yeah.
The blue,
light blue one.
If you married two together or like took them as a pairing, Mike Castellana's Western Beef 68 Camaro McCamus car and the V1 68 Camaro body, which I still think is maybe the best looking pro mod body ever. And then Shannon's blue Western Beef Speed Tech 68 Camaro. Those two cars are painfully iconic in my opinion. I also would throw out, I mean, there's a couple other that like means something to me. I think the Radiac Maniac was a good drop, but what about Chuck Peterson's Pennzoil Chevelle?
Like didn't think that
not even the Pennzoil, but the CT trucking when they had the
CT trucking one. Yeah. The nitrous car and the blower car, right?
There's too many.
There's too many to think 4 or 5.
Oh gosh. I mean, there are so many. Walter Henry, you got to give him some love. Who else would, gosh, there's so many. There's so many.
Bill Coolman. Just saw that comment.
Yeah, Bill Coolman. You can't hardly, another car that really, and this is not Animal Jim in the Mercury Zephyr were absolutely iconic for like their own weird reasons, right? Like the funny car roof hatch. No doubt about it. What about Mark? Do you remember Mark D'Antoni's Willys?
Oh,
that car didn't really see like IHRA Pro Mod competition. It was more of an NMCA Pro Street car, but I found that car like that really, really, really iconic. Yeah. Todd Tutterow has had a handful.
I was about to say, pick
his Willys, the yellow and purple one that was a nitrous car, a blower car, a turbo car. It had every engine combination under the sun in it. Geez Louise, there are so many.
Halsey's, I was going to say Halsey's red Camaro that went first of the 5s.
The first of the 5, yeah. That gosh,
like there's so many that are iconic. Now we're going to have like Victory Vinyl is going to now have an apparel line, and it's going to be iconic pro mod bodies. And this is going to be.
I honestly think this is. We should probably do a story on this.
We should do a list. We've done this a couple of times, but we got to talk about Tyler's. The reason we got Tyler here, in the news, if it hasn't dropped already, is dropping imminently. The PDRA Fast Pass new ticketing concept. I really like this a lot. So the news is going to drop today. What's that?
We should probably talk about it. I think it drops.
Yeah, let's talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, in 4 minutes, about it, man. It will be on the World Wide Web.
Yeah, man. I'll be honest with you. We've had this idea, or we've bounced around the idea for a long time. Of we all know how busy the world is. You guys talked about it when you opened the show earlier. I was on for a little bit earlier, and and you guys were talking about how busy everybody is. It doesn't matter what you're doing. It's just the world is busy. There's a lot to do. Whether you have kids, whether you sporting events, work, whatever it may be. Well, we all sat down at a round table discussion. It was scarier and all get out, but at the same time, that's usually when things get dreamed up. And for the World Finals, we came up with this deal that we called the PDRA Fast Pass, and it's exactly what it means. It's $30. Would be the single day admission of any other event out there for any other PDRA event. But that $30 admission ticket covers you for the entire weekend, from Friday Q1 to Sunday's eliminations, final rounds, winner circle celebration. So you can come and go as you please, as many times in and out of the gate if you need to, whatever it is. Hey, I can't get there on Friday until after work. I get off at 4. And then my kid has a little league game, and then I got to go to church on Sunday morning, or whatever it may be. Whatever your boxes are that you have to check. That one ticket gets you in for the entire weekend. It's $30 for an adult, it's $15 for a junior, and it's $10 for a kid. And kids 5 and under are free for the entire weekend. So really, it's adapting to what the world is. And does it work? We don't know. But it's worth a shot, is the way that we all looked at it. Because really, if you open the eyes to somebody that says, "Oh, I normally can't go," well, then I think you're doing the right thing, because now you're opening the door to somebody that can fluctuate, that can use the entire weekend to take advantage of that one ticket that gets you in all weekend. And promoters, we hear it all the time of, I would come, but I could only come for 3 hours on one day. Well, we think this is an option that could potentially help families.
I think it's a hell of an idea.
Everything.
I like it.
I think it's a hell of an idea.
There's so many
too.
times when that really does happen, like you buy a Friday ticket and you thought Friday was going to be your day. Something happens, then you might end up being able to go Saturday or Sunday, whatever. If it's a 3-day event, and to have that flexibility if you live close by is key. It's funny because this is actually how a media credential works, right? So an HRA media credential or you guys, anybody, it kind of works like here's your pass for all 3 days or for the season, and come and go as you need to. And that's actually how I use my media credentials a lot of times when NHRA is in town for Charlotte or whatever. So I'm used to attending an event in that style, like you're describing,
at your convenience,
right? Like coming and going. I can't get out till Friday evening, but I'll be there Saturday morning. Then I got to leave and I'll be back Sunday. So it really, not being necessarily a paying ticket buying fan, you kind of take that for granted. So I think this is a great approach, and I'm looking forward to see how this works out, and if this is something that we could possibly see going into next year.
I think we're going to see more people adopt it, to be honest, because it's honestly
the world we live in.
It's the world we live in, man. I mean, and we run into that all the time where it's like, I'll talk to a team in the NHRA and they'll tell me like, well, we've got a bunch of guests coming on Saturday, but we've only got Friday tickets. Yeah. You know what I mean? So we got to try to trade these or whatever. And I'm going, you should just have like a singular weekend pass that allows these people to come and go, as they need to. And now, granted, I understand some of these events are different than others when you've got, tens and tens of thousands of people. But my point still stands that that level of convenience and flexibility goes a long way in 2026. And I applaud you guys, and just some outside of the box thinking, doing anything, because there is not enough done often enough for the fans of our sport, and I love to see
that's where it started. And really, that's where it started was we've lived the idea, just like Mike has, and Mike spoke on it as well as, us in the industry, we kind of have that flexibility at a lot of events of being able to flex in and out or do what we need to do to be able to still attend. But the general public most of the time doesn't have that. And that was honestly where that started, was kind of where that flexibility that came up. And then we were still sitting at the same table. We came up with that idea for Friday through Sunday. And, at World Finals, we have our Pro Stars All-Star race. And that's an event that really we enjoy putting together every year. It's a thank you to the racers. It's not for the top performers. you get just as many points in Pro Stars for showing up to the event as you do for winning the event. It's really for the ones that support the series year in, year out. And we got to thinking about that event. And we're like, man, we have a lot of people that support the series as a fan. They don't get to, what are we giving the fan other than a really cool, old school, quick 8 Piedmont big dog like show on a Thursday night that opens up World Finals. And we all sat down this year and said, you know what? Let's just give away let's just do free tickets on Thursday. Let's let everybody come in on Thursday night, see what it's all about, put on a really good show from driver introductions at 4:30 till the finals of Pro Star somewhere around 9:30, 10 o'clock. And just have a great show with the 8 best cars in every one of our classes for Summit Pro Stars presented by Larice, and let the fans come in and watch it for free. No parking. You don't have to pay for parking. Don't have to pay for a ticket. If you want to pay for VIP parking, you can. That's always an option at our events at Virginia. But, that to me was a really good idea, as well as, hey, look, let's get as many people in here for free on a Thursday night as we can. And then let's sell them the fast pass for the rest of the weekend. And let's see, let's dangle a carrot out there on Thursday night with arguably my favorite 5 hours in PDRA racing of the year. That is
the fast-paced show, round robin.
That's a fantastic
hard-hitting
approach. And so then it's all about like what we talked about with Ned is this is the best 8th mile drag racing happening in the country. Let's get these fans out here to see it. And Mark Beatty saying it's the best kept secret in the world. Let's make it not a secret. Get these fans out there. And once they see this racing, meet these people, see how this thing is presented, you're going to have people coming through these gates. So I think this is an awesome approach and the perfect race and venue to do this and launch this new program. And I'm hoping that, like I said, this is something we see take off for next year.
Dude, in business, we call it lead acquisition. Yeah. You're going to pay for a lead. Like, it's just, it's just the way business works. And all of those people that come in on Thursday night, those are leads, right? And so those are warm leads. They've been on the property. Like, if you're wise, you'd have some sort of booth set up to sell tickets for the rest of the weekend on their way out. Because it's like, you're not going to get a warmer lead than that. Right? Like, these people came out, they had a good time. How quickly can we sell them on Thursday or on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday? And, as I tell promoters all the time, you can't sell t-shirts and hot dogs to empty seats. You've got to have people in there, and it's an absolute difference maker. So anything we can do to help on that, Tyler, we're here for you guys, and we're big believers in what you do, and excited to see this unfold. Mike,
well, there's another layer to it.
Okay.
Also.
Yeah. We got one more part of this, right?
Yeah, it is. We actually got pretty aggressive on this whole deal.
I love it, man. Talk to us about the Vet Ticks program and what you guys are doing with that.
I will say this has been all Crystal. She kind of found this deal a couple months ago and really was just trying to slow roll into figuring out what it was and how it acts. But really, it's a nonprofit organization that we basically give tickets to, and you sign up for them and you go into a lottery. It's for first responders, active duty military, or veterans and their family members. And if you see on their website, you see the event, you go, man, I'm really interested in that. I want to go to that. I guess you sign up for it. You go into a lottery, so to speak. And after you go into the lottery, the Vet Ticks people pick and they give away the tickets. Well, we donated, I think 20 or 25 for the Bristol race and ended up having 45 or 50 people in the lottery. So really was like, wow, this was way more response than we expected. Mm-hmm. And the circle of members around Bristol was actually relatively small in comparison to Benson, North Carolina, and then Dinwiddie, Virginia, our last 2 events. So we've already put together tickets to give back to them as well. And I think I want to say they're like 400 or 500,000 away from 40 million tickets.
I'm looking at their website right now. They've given away 39 million tickets, damn near 40 million tickets.
To all events. Anything you can think of can donate events to this deal. And it is actually really cool. And at the end of it, they sent a link to Crystal, and people that attended the event took pictures and posted them on the website. And everybody spoke very highly of the event, of the venue, of everything like that. So another leg of just trying to expand the PDRA series to get our series out there, to get our events out there in front of more people. And what's better than giving back to first responders and active duty military and veterans? Like there's nothing better than giving back to the people that made the ultimate sacrifice for us.
Oh, it's absolutely amazing, man.
That's
I'm actually going to reach out to him on behalf of World Series of Pro Mod.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking. This is actually a big deal. Pro sports leagues do this all the time. Like season ticket holders, if you can't make it to an event, you can donate your tickets to this. It goes into a pool, and it goes to first responders, military, their families, all this stuff. So this is a really cool idea, and it's I love the effort you guys are putting into.
Yeah, shout out to Crystal for that. Like, and those of you that attend of our events, Crystal's one of the ladies at the registration trailer. She does a ton of stuff for us. She found this deal, has taken the lead on it, and she's done an excellent job really figuring out how this works, growing it. And I really think, like you said, I think it's the first leg of something that can really, really turn into something special next year. We've already kind of started looking into how do we expand this? How do we make this a bigger and better thing? Once those people are there, how do we treat them a little bit? No, I'm not going to say any better than anybody else, but at the same time, what's something we can do that they take away from the event, whether it's a challenge coin, whether it's a program of something or something like that. But I highly, highly recommend it to any promoter out there. Check out VetTix. I think it's vettix.org, either org or .com. One of
it is .org.
But
and your boy just signed up for it.
Yeah.
Your boy just signed up, and I'm
wait. Tyler has a referral link he wants you to use.
Yeah, exactly. Let me send that.
Yeah, exactly. Well, please do, because
coupon code, bro.
This is right up my alley, man. It's these things, especially at this point in time. At this moment in time, this group of men and women that make the ultimate sacrifice and commit themselves to our freedom is whatever we can do for them, we're going to do. So
we wouldn't be able to do what we get to do and what we all get to sit here and talk about and get to go perform at events without those people. So there's nothing, no greater give back than that type of program.
Absolutely awesome, man.
This is good stuff, man. You guys had a hell of an event at Bristol. Got 2 great racetracks coming up to finish up the year. The racing couldn't be any better than what it's been this year, and now launching these programs, man. PDRA, it's hot right now.
It is, man. It's been a great last couple of weeks. It's been a busy last couple of weeks. I will say, we came out of Maryland and kind of had 5 or 6 weeks off, and we're all really bad at going, okay, we can take a breath. Let's relax. Let's recover. We had a hard first part of the year. Let's just kind of get it all together. And then all of a sudden you would turn around and Bristol's there. This year we really took the approach of, look, when we come out of Maryland, let's punch it in the mouth. Let's go. We need to come into Bristol with something hot and heavy. And really, I have to say, shout out to my team. Shout out to every racer that was there. I think we were over 350 racers for the first time this year at Bristol. Wow. But the wildest part of it was we had weather that was literally a quarter of a mile away from raining at the place on Friday night. And whenever we made the call to come to the lanes, every racer was there. Whenever we made the decisions of, hey, we need to dry the racetrack on Saturday when we had a slight rain shower, every person on the staff jumped right in. And you can ask for no better than that from my seat. We say thank you all the time. Thank you's not enough for what some of the people and what some of the teams sacrificed to be out there. And Ned's one of the guys that is new to the series this year. And then you have people that have not missed a race in 12 years that have not missed a race. So from new to old, from people that have supported year in and year out, it's a special place to be a part of. I've had a great time this season. It's been fun, and I always enjoy going to Bristol. I say Tennessee's the home state. Bristol's literally like 2 miles in, and I'm 6.5 hours away from where home was. But I always love going to Bristol. It's a special place. It's a special place for so many different people and so many different reasons. And to come out of the summer break with an event that strong, man, it doesn't make you feel any better. That's for sure.
Oh, no, there's no doubt about it, man. And it's going to be a banger into the year for you guys. Like, there is no doubt, right? Like, it's we've had some of the air cleared a little bit, and it's going to be interesting times. Yeah, I know. I have no idea.
Hey, man.
Yeah.
Hey, I like that perfect attendance thing. You need to find, it can't be a lot of people, right?
There's not.
Those people, that is a new award that needs to happen at the PDRA banquet. Not trying to cause
No more awards. No
No
more
more
awards.
awards.
No
Yeah.
more awards. No
And
From
more
a
each of,
guy-
them, each of them, each of them gets a 10-minute speech. Also,
Oh my goodness.
Thanks, Mike.
Yeah. Now
I tell you
I'm
what,
just trying to
for
help
that-
you.
I
I'm just trying to
kid.
help you
I
plan
kid.
your banquet, man. I
For
know it's a
that
lot of work.
situation, we're gonna bring you up, and you can be the MC for that, and I can go to the restroom or the bar
All right,
or something.
I'll
like
do
that.
it. How many of them
Yeah.
are there?
And now 12.
Yeah.
There's 12 right now.
I'm taking a solid break if we're gonna do this. Okay,
The best part of the PDRA banquet is those junior dragster kids' speeches.
dude,
I'm either
So-
crying or laughing or both.
they are awesome, and I say it every year, but we have to like invert that. They have to end the show because when the adults listen to those two, the adults are
wanna go.
done. Like
Yeah.
they're like, I'm not going up there, bro. Like,
Right.
nice
Your
try.
early classes do have the best speeches. They really
They
do.
do.
By the time we're at the end of it, and it's like whoever Halsey's Ford chief, he's like, thanks. And he just
Yeah.
leaves.
I remember
right?
Todd Tutterow went up one time and he was like, appreciate y'all.
Right.
I was like, yes. And it's so bad because it's the nature of a beast at any banquet. And I'll say this, Judy absolutely right now. Judy is working on the banquet, and it is
The
art of
PDRA
it. You've
banquet-
never
That's
been.
why I mentioned that. I wanted to get that in there.
The
Yeah, it
PDRA
is
banquet
so awesome.
is lit. It is the
We have
best
a good
banquet
time.
in drag racing. No,
It's
hands
so
down.
well done. It is so well done.
And-
Opens
and-
up with a React 104 video
Yeah,
that just sets the tone and then goes from there. You
It
do an
goes from
awesome
there.
job, Tyler.
thank you.
And
Thank
the
you.
whole thing
But it's so
is killer.
fun because like early in it, you're like, man, those speeches are so good. And the people really put the time into it. And then when you get to like your marquee, like your guys that you've promoted all year, you're like, hey, quick, let's go.
Yeah.
They're closing the
done.
bar in 15
It's
minutes.
2
Come on.
a.m. Yeah, we've got to go. No, well, we love what you guys do, man, and we appreciate it, Tyler. Thanks for taking some time on a Wednesday
Yes.
afternoon to shoot the breeze with all of us. And
And thank
Mike,
y'all for the
JT,
opportunity.
of course, brother, Blake, all of my team appreciate you guys and all of you guys that join us each and every week here on the Wes Buck Show. We surely appreciate you. It would be no fun to do this by ourselves. We did plenty of that in a previous life. So join us right here on the Drag Illustrated YouTube channel every Wednesday afternoon. Same bat time, same bat channel. We'll see you next week. Thanks, guys.
Hit that
See
follow
y'all.
button.
Yeah,
I'll
somebody
even say
needs
it, not
to.
just him.